Hey, this is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. We just launched my comic, Heroic Tales #1, over on Michael Bancroft's channel. We had a banger of the first hour. Oh my God, I'm so excited. My wife bought me dinner, and I couldn't eat because my stomach was in knots, so I just had to wolf down some food. And then now I'm live here with my buddy Elon Mudd, who has a comic coming out called The Plunger. When's your comic coming out?
Well, okay, we have technically 3 pages to do. I just sent Rich the thumbnail for page 20 because it's going to be a 20-page comic. And then this weekend I'm working with one of my friends. Yeah. Well, because there's a part where there's a cutesy wootsy scene, so I wanted to get a female's input. So, do you know Kayla Adrian, Comics and Cleve?
Oh yeah. She does that question of the day every day. Yes.
Yeah. So she's gonna help me with page 18, and then 19 I pretty much have covered, and then I sent Rich the thumbnail for 20 today to finish. So
I invited her on my channel, and she said, "Yeah, sure." And then never heard from her again. So
that's Kayla, dude. She's awesome, though, man.
Yeah, she is. She likes her comics. Just so everybody knows, right over here, I put the link to this. Anybody could join in. There's no way I'm sleeping right now. I'm on too much adrenaline high right now. So I thought I would continue talking about my comic stream. So anybody wants to jump in, Master Swag, come on in.
Nice, dude. I was supposed to go on his show, and then we had technical difficulties.
Yeah, Master Swag. It's fun when I go. I've been on his show like a couple of times now, and it's all comics. You know, we just talk. You know, it was fun. We would talk about who would win in a fight, this guy or that guy. You know, I love that stuff.
Tonight is your night, dude.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I like comics, and I like helping other people. You know, comics is whoa. Yeah. We got a super chat already. Wow, Michael Ferraro, congrats, John. Your love of comics is inspiring. I'll sure to come through in the book. Hail Mudd, hail Kayla. Thank you so much. Yeah.
What's up, Mr. Mike? Dude, he's a nice guy. I talk to him on Twitter all the time.
Yeah, he backed. I saw. Oh, we got Crom. I'm on the road. Thank Crom. Come on in. The link is in the chat. The link is right here.
There goes the neighborhood, John.
Crom is a great guy.
This is why we can't have nice things.
This is Crom the creator, not Crom the destroyer.
Okay. All right, all good.
So what you say?
Man.
So got a few more pages on your comic, and then when do you think you're going to launch?
I'm hoping soon, man. Well, because see, the big hang up with me is I was trying to get everything done, including the printing, before I actually run the crowdfunding on Fund My Comics.
Yeah.
If I can't, then I'm just going to go ahead and run the campaign. Yeah, you know, but I did, in theory, want to get everything paid for before I launched.
I think Renzo was on like the last 2 pages, you know, because I wanted to put in a map. So I think he's doing that.
Renzo's a great artist. So you've got Matt Barr too?
Yeah, Matt Barr's doing a page.
Nice.
Because this is my comic is a love letter to Bronze Age Marvel Comics. So I'm putting in ads, you know what I mean, in the comics, and Matt Barr's doing. I don't want to give away because I want you to open it up and be surprised. It's great. I don't,
Gotcha.
So he sent me a couple of. He sent me the thumbnails. I can't even speak. I'm so excited.
Did you back Rock and Roll Ninja?
Oh yeah, I got the page and it was better than I dared hope. Yeah, Rock and Roll Ninja.
Nice, dude. He's a great artist, man.
I will say that Rock and Roll Ninja and Fiendish are probably my 2, and Wraith of God. Those are my 3 favorite crowdfunding comics for.
I'm waiting on Rock and Roll Ninja, and I'm waiting on Fiendish 2.5, but I read the first 2 issues for free. So, because she did put them up digital for free, so I got to read those, and I'm waiting for 2.5. I did back that.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. What geeks do. This guy never stops giving. He made that catchy intro that I love listening to, and now he's throwing. Thank you. Can't wait to read it. I can't wait to put it in your hand.
Yeah. And dude, what do you think about Vaughn, dude? Vaughn Coleman.
Those are my three. Well, I have room for a fourth comic. I got plenty of fingers there, Pixel Trader.
Pixel's here too?
Yeah, well, he's in the chat. Yeah. Pixel
Trader. Nice, dude. What's up, Pixel?
Again,
dude, everybody's here.
Where did you get did you see the link on Twitter or did you see the link in the chat?
For me?
Yeah.
Oh, I got the one that you DM me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Renzo is here. Oh, Renzo, this.
Wow.
I actually had to get an operation on the ankle. Sorry, please.
Dude, big props to Renzo. He's killing it.
Renzo, people love your art. Renzo, the link is in the chat, and I sent you a message if you want to come in. Yeah, Merc
come on in, Renzo.
And it's fun to say. And Vaughn Coleman
sucks
is out the park. Wow.
Oh, yeah. Dude, Vaughn is killing it right now, bro.
Yeah, Vaughn is killing it. Yeah, he's doing, and it's so good.
Yeah, man. Like I just saw the Rini cover that he got done.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa. And he like popped it out of nowhere. He's like, oh, well, this happens to be the Rini cover. And I was like, you dirty bastard. You've been hiding that.
I got I have a Pat Broderick did a variant cover, and I'm going to be exclusively on Fund My Comic for 2 months, and then I'm gonna I have a Pat Broderick cover. You can only get that on Fund My Comic, So.
Oh, okay. Are you going to do Indiegogo after the 2 months?
I'm going to do Kickstarter next, and then I have a cover by Michael T. Gilbert. So that'll only be on Kickstarter.
Wow. Dude, you weren't playing.
And then I'm going to finish up on Indiegogo for 2 months. And I have Mike Gustovich doing a cover for that. So there'll be 4 total. And I might have different things. I found a way to get like metal cards. So maybe, I don't know. On how well the sky's the limit. If
exactly.
I can afford to do more things. Oh, right. Renzo has bad reception. I'll try. Okay. I love
Renzo. Well, because I can only be here for a minute. Because, like I said, I didn't know I was going to get invited on, so I didn't charge my phone.
Hey, Kevin. This is my college roommate back in Albuquerque. Hey, Kevin.
What up, Kevin?
Let me know if it's okay for the Fighting Spirit to show up in a future issue of Heroic Character, because he used to play V&V with us too. His characters. You might recognize some of the stories. I spent last Sunday and Vaughn Coleman. Yeah, Marcus invited me. There was a comic convention. There was a comic art convention in Manhattan, and I just, when I just wasn't able to do it. I tried to rearrange things, but I wanted to go.
That sucks.
I have a train ticket, a monthly train ticket, so it wouldn't cost me anything to go to Manhattan. But I wish I could go.
Well, John, just
throw about this fabrication business right now. Okay.
Yeah. We're just throwing this out there. If there's ever a clogged toilet in your comic and you need a plunger,
yes,
just saying.
Mike All right, Dr. Ben knows Mike Gustovich. He created the Justice Machine, and I
nice.
think he drew Iron Man for a little while. And he's such a nice guy. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Any of my characters never had better time. Oh, thank you, Kevin. Yeah. When I'll reminisce now for a minute. Now that Kevin made me think about it. But I moved to Albuquerque in '93, and I was jonesing to play role-playing games. I didn't know anybody. I didn't even bring my role-playing books with me. I went to college. And I saw Kevin walking down the street carrying a Vampire the Masquerade book. And I was like, oh, wow. So I literally ran out my door and introduced myself. And Kevin invited me to play. And next thing you know, we're playing Vampire every I forget what day, once a week we'd play role-playing game Vampire the Masquerade. And then when that campaign finished, I offered to run V&V. And that was it. Villains and Vigilantes. We were all superheroes for the next 7 years. And then
How you guys doing?
How you doing? Vaughn, your
Is
campaign
that Vaughn?
that's Vaughn Newman.
We've heard enough about me.
What
Let's
up,
talk
Vaughn?
about you. You just
called him
how's
Vaughn
it going,
Newman.
Elon Mudd? It's interesting hearing your voice. I've never heard your voice.
Yeah. Well, dude, nice to meet you, Vaughn.
Nice to meet you too. Let's see where are we at. The Heroic Tales. Let's see. We are at okay, man. 38 backers. That's good. That's really good.
Yeah. We's funded.
Yep. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I was going to fund whether I made $1 or not. The comic's already paid for.
No, it's a matter of making it back. And you realize I was always like, why does everyone price their comics at a certain point? And it's like, oh.
Well, you kind of have to, and then and
None of us want to.
Yeah. Oh, so you know, and plus I was just like, all right, Michael's going to give me an hour. I didn't want to put like $5,000 and it doesn't back, so it's kind of like propaganda. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's funded. Yeah.
It's good.
Wow.
So is this after 1 hour?
Yeah, 2 hours now. So,
Yeah.
So let's keep this up. If we could do $600 an hour for the next 119 days, that would be
Yeah.
awesome.
So it's the thing. I noticed it fluctuates. There are days where I'll make 1,000. There are days where I got like 2 backers, and it's been a week. It really. Do you have a show plan like every day?
No, I don't. So
Do that.
I'm hoping. Yeah, I'll do it myself if I have to. But
Well,
you know,
going on other channels because there are people that have never, despite how much you campaign on your own, there are going to be people that didn't.
Right.
People who didn't know about me.
well,
until
I'm going to
today.
be on this freak called Vaughn's channel next week.
Oh, that guy sucks.
Yeah, I
The
hate
hack.
him. I hate him.
Can't stand him.
Reenie said she
Yeah.
was on, and Mandy, God bless Mandy. You know, she was like, yeah, I'm so proud of you. Come on my channel. So yeah, we'll set up a time and a date for that. Anybody else? I'll come on your channel. You know,
You're going on Mandy Summers' channel?
she said yes. She's been on my channel, and
Wow.
it was funny because we barely talked comics. We talked role playing games. Man, I got to say that woman knows her stuff. She knew her role playing stuff.
I've never gotten into that.
Wow.
It's again one of those few nerdy things I haven't gotten into yet.
Yeah,
You should.
I've been joking around. I'm gonna stop sharing for a bit. We'll come back to that. I've been joking around, but it's not a joke. Like because people say stretch goals, and I said, you know, I got cards set up for stretch goals, and I got the art, and I got the art and the colors. I'll reveal them when we hit, and I just got permission to use the Villain's Vigilante rules for the back of the card, so I'll stat out my character. So I'm all into the role playing. So as a joke, I said if I hit $100,000, everybody comes to my house. I'll invite Vaughn, Elon, you come, and you'll make up your characters, and we'll live stream a role playing.
Oh yeah.
You know, Renzo. Will
Hell yeah, dude! I would love the Plunger to be in a role playing game.
Yeah.
See, now I'm like, oh, I made my character so
will
flawed.
be Galvanite. Reenie will be one of the famous characters. You know, it would be so much fun to have. You know, Brian Bow will come. He'll be Wolf and Batsy. Fabrizio will be Horace H. Hoover. You know, and we'll all sit around the table as our characters playing. How fun would that be? You know.
Oh, that'd be great, man.
Everybody, come down, bring your snake sticks. I got a small house, so.
Well, you know, I'll bring my tent. But what I was saying though is like any of you guys, like if you ever have, you know, the problem where there's a clogged toilet in your comic, feel free to throw the Plunger in.
Oh, okay.
You know, yeah, he will fix it for you, and he'll bring machine guns.
That's good. That's good. If I have that predicament in my comic, you don't really see characters use the bathroom often in comics, do you?
You don't.
Or in entertainment, I guess, in general.
Yeah. Well, he's also a break dancer, and you know, he's got quite a few things. Yeah, he's got a few things going for him.
Yes. The coin. There's a little drop down bar to add the coin onto your pledge.
How was making the campaign for you? Was that fun?
It was real easy. I hired Nick Axe to do it.
How much did he charge? I'm gonna need help.
Contact Nick Axe.
Okay.
I don't want to say anything. You know.
I was about to say it's not that hard, but then I remember how much I struggled with it. But now it's not that hard. Insight.
It's not that hard, but mine got rejected the first time. So.
What'd you do wrong?
Yeah. I backed your books on FunmaCon. Thank you. You back both our books. Thank you. Yeah, I back. You know, I don't just make comics. I back them. Everywhere I turn, there's a crowdfunded comic. I got Matt Barr's comic. What else? I can't even. This just showed up today. Black and white. Already dead.
Oh yeah.
Well, did you guys back Kit Carter?
Oh,
I haven't yet. I intend to. I fully intend to.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a comic book backing fool. You know. So,
Same.
and I know I say this a lot, and you know, but everybody's been so helpful. Everybody's been so encouraging. You know, everybody in the chat right here has been so good. You know, Vaughn, everybody's so nice, and it's easy to dwell on the negative.
Yeah.
I cut the negative out.
Yeah, you go because the thing about that too is you got to realize what you do is just look at those backer page numbers. Who doesn't back you doesn't affect your numbers. Who does affect?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess technically it does.
Hey, Vaughn, put your links in the private chat, and I'll throw them out here too.
All right. I will. I am going to back your book too, by the way, John.
Oh, you didn't back yet?
Yeah.
Bye, Vaughn.
Yeah. All right. I just got done with the show.
Go,
all right?
son.
I was streaming. I didn't mean to stream while you were, but I did have a show, and I made. But that's a great show. Mad Ruth's show. If you want a fun show to get on, go.
Pixel, is there a problem with the coin?
Mad Ruth?
Yes, great show to get on.
I didn't know she had a show, or he had a show.
I was like, Mad, you gotta.
Well, Mad. Well, I mean, I've talked to him online. I wasn't sure if it was a guy or a girl, though. And the name is Mad Ruth, you know.
Come on.
Rainey reads comics.
Not American.
Right. Well,
He's
she's
a
a Chinese spy, from what I hear.
Well,
she's Taiwanese.
She better read Heroic Tales.
Yeah, but
to say.
Well, see, that's the hook. She's a Chinese spy, bro. She says she's Taiwanese. Yeah.
That's just what a Chinese
I don't know.
would say, right?
That's what a Chinese spy would have you believe. Yeah.
Didn't factor that into the equation.
Well, if you know Lucius Morningstar, he's the guy that told me that. On X, he's like, yeah, she's a Chinese spy. You may not want to have her do a cover. And I was like, well, she's a good artist.
Those damn Chinese.
Yeah. Fuck you, Dauphine. Yeah.
She does. No,
so,
she does.
Yeah.
Rini cover, by the way, very good financial investment, I will say.
Yeah, dude, I saw the one she did for you, bro.
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
Very nice. It's not even colored yet. I think it's still my highest selling variant cover.
Yeah, it's just red, right? Like I saw the cover and there was like some red splashed into it.
Well, it's gonna be colored. That was just it's gonna be yellow later. But the fact that some people backed it and didn't even know it was gonna be colored, I'm like, okay.
Well, again, Rini magic, dude.
How many copies have you sold, John?
Let's refresh.
14 backers.
Yeah, refresh is going to be your buddy.
41 backers. I don't know exactly how many copies.
Oh, that's interesting. You add the coin. That's interesting. Oh.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like it's working. Somebody just told me that it doesn't work when you do this. So I'm like backing as I'm doing this live, so I can't put my credit card number in. Okay. I thought it was live. I thought you could see.
I realized with so many people, I feel so stupid. I put so much thought into these covers, and I didn't put an issue number on my cover, so now I got to add that. I totally forgot. I like of all things. I'm so pissed off. Like because everyone has these beautiful banners, and I'm like, why is that? I'm like, everything looks great, and I'm reading a comic. I think it was like I was reading like Core Draft. I put it down, and then I see the one, and I'm like, wait a second. Or it was on a stream, and someone was showing off an issue 1 cover, and it was like sensational first issue. I'm like, wait a minute, covers are supposed. God damn it, I forgot.
You know what's funny about that is I remember a tweet where you're like, yeah, man, it's really cool when you put like banners with people's names and this and that, and we got to bring that back to comics. And you forgot to put issue 1 on your cover.
I know, I'm a fraud.
You are. Bro.
Yeah, I'm so mad.
That's awesome, though. Well, it happens, man, you know.
Yeah. Well, I just got to amend the issue. And so then I'm like, I
Right.
was like, who do all right? So, but now I'm like, okay, how do I incorporate it? Because I like the cover, but it needs a goddamn number. Because I don't like.
Yeah, no,
one
there
thing I
has
don't
to be
like.
a number 1 on there somewhere.
I refuse to. I refuse to buy more. Well, I don't want to say ever, but I don't. Virgin covers are annoying, especially when you're sorting them through your long box because it's like, what issue number was this again? You have to like take it out. Especially if it's. I don't buy much
You
Dynamite
said
anymore.
Virgin long and take it out.
Hey, I figured I'd pop in real quick and just
Whoa.
talk to you in person real quick.
So the person
Voice.
here.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So-
expected a woman's voice. I saw breasts, and I was very disappointed.
Yeah.
So the way that those drop downs work, you can select something that when you put the 5.00, it doesn't actually adjust the price. It's like selecting a size for a shirt or something. So you're not actually collecting an extra $5 per coin that's selected. So if you were expecting to get that money from the people that have already purchased that coin, you're not going to see those $5 come through.
Yeah,
I can adjust your rewards for you because I have access to the admin side.
oh
And so
please.
I can make so I can remove that option at least from the rewards, and then you can go in and set up an app like a separate reward for $5 or whatever, and put that in the cart, and then they can click on that to purchase it.
Would you be able to fix that? Would you be able to add that?
I can pull this. I don't have a whole lot of time right now, but I can pull at least the coin off of the rewards. And so the ones
Okay.
that you've already sold, you'll have to fulfill that because you've already had that option there with them. But the other ones,
Okay.
moving forward, you won't have to. Yeah,
Okay, you can do that right now before I.
yeah, I'm about to.
Thank
I
you.
just wanted to get it approved from you before I went and touched it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, it's not adding the money. So people who added coins are just getting coins that they're not being charged for them.
Now, what you can do is like if they want to help you out and actually throw you that extra $5, there's a direct contribution option where you can throw $5 at you directly without selecting a reward. And anybody that got that, if they want to actually pay the $5 toward it, you can do that.
I think the only one so far was my coworker. I'll shake him down for $5.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
So if I do that, it doesn't pay $5.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for fixing that.
Yeah, no worries. I'll pop out and I'm gonna go and take care of it real quick, and then I'll just drop a message in the chat once I have it ready.
Okay. Thank you.
Let me go ahead and tweet out this link.
Add them links.
How you feeling? Nerves don't go away right away.
No.
I don't know if you know. That's the thing. You're like, oh, did they go away? I'm like, I'm still getting them. It's been a week. Because you're
We
always
keep
like,
hitting that refresh button, right?
oh yeah, I was
Yeah,
doing
I'm
that.
trying not to.
Yeah.
Or keep trying not to, or keep just find something else to focus on.
Okay.
Also,
What
what's
happened?
good
It would
about
let
it
me pledge
is
without adding the coin in the drop. Oh, I added it, but then okay. Happy. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you. Is 20 the right shipping? Well, it's $10 for the comic and $10 shipping, so it's $20 if you just buy the regular comic.
Well, actually, I've got a quick question because my identity was stolen recently.
Oh no.
So all my accounts were frozen. This is why I have not backed either of your books, and I said I'd do it this weekend.
Okay.
So that being said, I have to buy a prepaid card.
oh, apparently
So,
you're not the first
exactly-
person this week I've talked to. Actually, last weekend, someone else told me they needed prepaid cards. to
Bro,
get
it's
comics.
brutal. But how
Buy
much
from
am I
his
going to have
wife,
to put in this prepaid card to back both your guys' books?
Well, that depends on the tier.
Okay. All right. Well, then what I'm going to do then when I get off is I'll check the tiers and then I'll go on. And then I'll DM you my real name. So if you guys want to sign the comic, when you send it.
yeah, sounds good.
you know.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I'll
Since we're
sign in
buddies,
obnoxiously big letters.
You
Cover
should.
the art, ruin the art.
Yeah. Well, like with my friends, I'm going to draw a penis on the cover when I sign them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Just so that they know, it's like, here you go, Elon Mudd, dickhead. But that's just to my friends, Everybody
Yeah.
else will get a normal signature.
Well, I was gonna make a joke. So that means you're not making any penis signatures because you don't have any friends. But I didn't make that joke.
Well, hang on. You did you did the what is it called?
Well, I got you, John.
I would say this, but I'm not. So you said it anyway. It's like no offense, but and then proceeds to say the most like offensive shit you could say.
Yeah.
That kind of
Well,
thing.
well, it's cool. Me and John go way back. I met him like 5 minutes ago. It's all good.
Oh,
You know.
awesome. Yeah. So it's like it's
Yeah.
friends for life.
We're
Oh no,
actually
we're old bud.
talking with the guy who and we're trying to fix it. It looks like we might have to add the coin as a separate reward thing because it looks
Yeah.
like it doesn't have add-ons. So maybe we'll be able to fix that. I don't know if we could fix that going or what because I got about
Yeah.
300 coins on the way to my house right now.
Nice, dude.
Hey, Grey Wolf, how you doing? Yeah. Oh, so Pixel Treasure said he fixed that the drop, so I won't be giving away these expensive coins to everybody.
Yeah. You don't want to do that.
Thank you.
No.
Add it as I would add it as an add-on.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
That's what I did with the mini prints and then the trading cards for day one.
okay. Looks like crisis averted. We'll fix it. Thank you, Pixel Trader. Thank you. I didn't realize you were an admin.
You know, it's all work in progress.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll consider that the early bird specials for the first 2 hours of backing. There you go. Got to make everything positive.
Oh yeah.
So I was saying about Kevin in my chat. My buddy Kevin, where is he? I'm going back up. He, the mighty Kev. I saw him walking down the street, and I didn't really know too many people in Albuquerque, and he had an armful of role playing books. So I literally was like, that did, and I was sitting on the porch because it's always a nice day in Albuquerque, and I grabbed onto him. I was like, hey, you play role playing games? Yeah, I play. And right across the street was his buddy's house. We would go there and we play role playing games. And then when the campaign ended, I said, I got a superhero role playing game we can play, and we tried it out, and that was it. We were hooked. We played. I think
What game was that?
Villains and Vigilantes. I was
Oh,
in
okay.
6 more years, and we played like every Sunday. At one point we had like a whole room full of people playing different campaigns, different characters. I think Kevin's first character was a fighting spirit, and then he was like a reptilian guy called Typhon, and then I remember he was like a tiger character. Oh, what was the tiger character's name? But it was a lot of fun.
I played D&D and Cyberpunk
I've never
when
played.
I was younger. Cyberpunk's fun.
I played a lot of D&D, and
Yeah.
when I played D&D, this is what the orcs look like right there. That's what the orcs look like.
Oh,
Oh, nice. There's an orc.
This is my buddy Nick Axe. Nick is the
Hello, Nick.
artist on Crom the Destroyer for RJ.
Oh,
Nick is-
shit.
I'm also the guy that's trying to sabotage John's campaign here with the coin.
you're
Nice.
stealing my spot.
Please do.
I
It's my
call-
job.
Fucking Vaughn, dude.
Nick has been doing like a lot of the graphic design. He's doing the backs of the cards for me and stuff. Instrumental in my campaign, because when I tried to do it, it didn't get approved because I'm not a computer guy, believe it or not. So Nick put up that wonderful campaign page for me, and he was asking what credit should I give everybody, and then I said, "Are you going to give yourself a credit?" He goes, "Well, what credit?" And I was like, "You're the turd." He's allergic to you. I said, Nick is the turd polisher. So, ladies and gentlemen,
It's an important position.
It is. It's
Yeah,
crucial.
it is.
the Angel of Death, that
Absolutely.
was another one of your characters. Yes, Kevin remembers. My friend Lance, he would go out of his way to make up the craziest role-playing characters. Like every time he played, his characters would die spectacularly. Yeah, it was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Was there ever a turd polisher in the game?
There's only one turd polisher, and
Oh, okay.
he's sitting there.
So you can polish a turd.
That's not even Nick's house. He breaks into NPR every night and sits there in that. Look
true.
at that office.
Well, dude, Crom, I've seen the art. You're doing the art for Crom?
I'm doing chapter. So I'm just finishing up chapter 2 right now, and I'll be starting chapter 3 probably on the 1st or something like that.
Spectacular.
Oh, I've seen the art, man, on Twitter. It looks great.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, there's another artist as
Cool.
well, Jim O'Reilly. He's doing chapter 1. So
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, a couple of people asked me
Yes.
what's on my shirt. This shirt is the only character that I'll ever cross over with the Patriarch. This is Italian Spider-Man. Look up Italian Spider-Man on YouTube. You will not be disappointed. It is probably the greatest thing on the internet. And Crom the Destroyer, Nick X, wonderful art. Someday when
Yeah.
I'm a real professional comic book guy, I would love to have Nick draw one of my comics. It's spectacular art. The In-Betweener would probably not be a good starting character. Yes. Zach Tanner's referring that Kelsey Shannon and I did a 2-hour talk about Warlock. Jim
Kelsey
started with
is the
Warlock.
man. He
Oh.
brings in views too. Like people love Kelsey.
People love Kelsey. Yeah,
Oh, Kelsey's
Kelsey-
art's dope, dude.
Kelsey is phenomenal. Yeah, he's a
He's doing Nexus right now with Mike Barron, right?
Yeah.
yes, he is. He's doing a
Yeah.
Scourge, Nexus the Scourge. Yeah,
Mhm.
we're gonna keep Marcus Kellegrew, the moderator, busy by mentioning active campaigns. Yes, so
Yeah.
Yes.
Kelsey is great. I just enjoy talking with him. He never read the Warlock before, so it was through fresh eyes. I must have read that over and over and over again. That was a lot of fun. Michael saying good luck. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. Italian Spider-Man, is it better than Turkish Batman? I didn't know there's a Turkish Batman. Now I find out. That sounds like
Dude.
something. That sounds like the comic drama that I want. Could Italian Spider-Man be
Bro.
Turkish Batman? I don't know, but I'll
No,
raise you guys
dude,
Superman.
dude, anything Turkish is awesome. Turkish Star Wars,
Turkish Star Wars.
Indiana Jones. Dude,
Really?
Turkish
I've
Star
seen
Wars is the
Wars.
shit.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Tiny.
Anything with Turkish in it's awesome.
Turkish Star Wars is just like it's. I don't even remember the plot. I know I hated it.
It's not the famous Star
How
Wars.
could you hate it?
It's
Tell us how you
no,
really
it
feel.
recycles footage from Star Wars in new
Yeah,
contexts, but it doesn't
exactly.
make sense in those new contexts.
Yeah,
like-
it makes zero sense. That's what
Yeah.
makes it so good.
They have footage from Indiana Jones. What was the plot of the movie
Yeah.
again? Like, I know I've seen it.
Is there a plot?
That's my question. I feel like there
I mean,
was a.
I don't
kingdom
recall
of
the
some
really-
kind?
well, it was kind of like a dude that was like a wannabe Han Solo, from what I remember. He was running around fighting people, and then it would cut to like Death Star scenes,
But what?
and it would
what
cut
was
to like.
Did they ever decide the connection?
Italian Spider-Man is the best character ever.
I'm
Even
not
better-
sure there was a connection.
There's a reason why I love Renzo. He gets it. Italian Spider-Man.
Italian
With my
Spider-Man.
Halloween costume a couple of years ago.
I love Italian Spider-Man. I think
I'm gonna have to watch that.
You will not, let me know.
Turkish Star Wars is not
When
like
you're done watching it, tweet me and let me know. Send me a message. I gotta know your immediate reaction. It's
Turkish Star Wars is not Star Wars. It's not like Italian Spider-Man. It's like actually just a completely shitty different movie
Yeah,
from Turkey,
where they steal scenes from Star Wars.
and it's really low quality, and they just call it
Yeah.
Turkish Star Wars, but it's not.
Yeah. Well, it's like the Indian Superman. I don't know if you've seen that, where like Superman stops and starts dancing.
Yeah, and the woman is dressed in the Spider-Man costume.
Is she?
Yeah, the woman's dressed.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
Way.
And
I
he's-
can't believe I've never heard
Yeah.
of this. It's amazing.
And
Oh,
I tell
dude.
you what, man,
He
that
just
woman,
breaks into dance out of nowhere.
that woman in the Spider-Man costume is hot.
I don't remember that, but I remember them dancing and then him throwing a dude and like spinning him in his finger and then tossing him.
And he fights
Yeah.
like this, throwing punches, and he's blocking with his fingers. Yeah.
Bro, I love that movie.
Oh, it's terrible, dude.
Blu-ray of The Room. That's a great. I actually had one of the
Yeah.
actors from The Room on my channel. Like a month or so back. I'm trying to get more of
The
them.
actor from what?
One of the actors from The Room. Have you ever seen The Room?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no shit.
You go
Yeah,
to
one
bed.
of the guys that pulls
Thank you
the
for
guy
all
who
your
pulls
help,
the gun
Marcus.
out on the roof. I had him on my show. The guy who
Huh.
plays Chris
Well, I know
Farley.
you guys know the Gooch, right?
Yeah, Jay.
Yeah, Jay. I think at some point he said he was going to have Corey Feldman on his stream.
No way.
Yeah. Which is really weird because I met that guy at a comic convention once and he told me to go fuck myself,
Well, did
which
you?
was pretty incredible.
The important part of the story. Did you fuck yourself?
Because if Corey Feldman tells you that
I
you got,
wanted to. Well, exactly. Corey Feldman told me to do it,
he's a
so I felt
celebrity.
like I should.
Listen to what celebrities tell you to do.
Yeah, celebrities always know what
Yeah,
they're
well,
talking
yeah, but I was in the middle of the Shrine Auditorium. I didn't know if it was a good idea if I like went Billie Eilish and broke out the mirror and started fucking myself in front of it.
God.
You know? Yeah.
Well, on that note, guys,
Whoa.
I think I actually do have some stuff to work on.
Yeah. Thanks for stopping in.
But thank you guys so much for having me. And John, I will back soon. But everyone, make sure to back John's book. This is a good man, and I know you're going to do good work.
Thank you.
John Stilako would say something like that to one of his friends. And yeah, keep it going and reach out, get on as many shows as you can. Is some of the best advice I can give. Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Vaughn.
All right.
And number 3.
All right, I call
Yeah, I'm
shenanigans.
gonna have to go. I'm actually gonna have to go in a second too, man, because like I said, I didn't charge my phone because I didn't know I was gonna do the stream.
That's fine.
So I think I scared him off when I talked about Billie Eilish in the mirror.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
It-
Well, no,
it-
that was some pretty dirty stuff, dude.
if you scroll up to the top, the link is in the chat, and anybody can pop in. Anybody could pop in. I'll
Yep.
look that up. And I got to say thank you, everybody, for giving me a good first 2 hours. You know, I can't lie. You get nervous, your stomach hurt. You'll see, Elon. You'll see.
Yeah.
Stomach
No, I
hurt.
know. Uh-huh.
My-
Well,
my
bro,
wife-
that's why I was so excited for you when I was like, yeah. I'm like dancing in my living room like he did it.
yeah, you
He
know,
did it.
like Shadowpunk has been retweeting and tweeting. You know, he's so
Oh yeah, Shadowpunk's so cool, dude.
everybody. You know, everybody's been
Yeah.
so helpful and encouraging. I had like
Yeah.
I have the most pleasant dreams. When I go to bed, I love to sleep. My dreams are fun and interesting. Last night I had the kind of like a nightmare. I dreamt that I was
Uh-oh.
working in the supermarket and they wouldn't cash my paycheck. What a stupid it was so realistic that it makes me almost think
Yeah.
wrong versus that somewhere I'm working in a dingy supermarket and the manager won't cash my paycheck. And I remember the paycheck was $184. Now if we can't cash this, and that's how I woke up this morning.
Yeah, that was like 1990s paycheck for me, man. Yeah. When I was just a whippersnapper. But yeah, no, you know, we should shout out though Jolly Green, Star Million, Kyle Prometheus, Lucius Morningstar, Michael Bancroft.
It's all these
Those guys are they're so cool about retweeting and promoting people's
Yeah.
comics, you know what I mean?
like I said, you could dwell on the negative or you can focus on the positive. And it's so easy to focus on the positive.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And Marcus has been a great help. Zach Tan's always there. Every time I live stream, Zach Tan shows up.
Right. No, there's a lot of good people, man. Like it's easy to get caught up in the drama, but you know, like I avoid that shit and I try to focus on positive things. And
Yeah,
you know, I found a lot of really, really cool people on Twitter, man. You know, so shouts out to them.
So let's give while we're here, give a pitch for your comic.
For mine?
Yeah.
Well, it's very much in the vein of Mad Magazine, and if you liked 80s, like, action movies, what I did with it was, how Airplane was based on a real movie. I can't remember what it was called, but they took some plane movie and then made a comedy out of it.
Right.
I basically took Death Wish and added a plunger with machine guns. So,
That makes sense. Finally,
yeah,
Charles Bronson gets a plunger.
Yeah. Well, that's why I named him. If in the comic book, his name is Charles Bronson was or was it Charles Kersey? I think. No, wait, what was his name? God, I'm drawing a blank right now because I'm on the spot. I'm never good with that.
I know.
But yeah,
and
in
then
the
I
comic
turn
book,
off the screen and I'm like, I remember this now.
yeah, well, no, I do a nod, and his name's Charles Kersey, the plunger. So I took the last name Kersey from Death Wish, but the way I got the idea to do the comic was, your boy Zach,
Yes.
Richard Meyer. Yeah, well, I was listening to one of his streams and I was sitting in a parking lot and they were talking about Marvel taking the skull off the plunger. I mean, off the Punisher, because they were like, well, the military, the police, and plumbers are using it, so we're gonna switch the skull on the Punisher's chest. And when I heard the whole thing, plumbers, it's like the military, cops, plumbers, and it just dawned on me that that's comedy gold, man. I need to do a comic about a plunger with machine guns. So that's kind of where the whole idea came from. Yeah.
I'm a construction worker.
So.
And today I've been handing out. I made these cards. Oh, I just cut myself. I made these cards, because the guys at work don't understand what crowdfunding sites are and stuff. I made these cards with this QR code. They could scan it with their phones, take them to the site. So I went into where all the steam fitters are. We were talking about comics, and these guys are like, yeah, we don't read comics, but they all like, yeah, I love the plunge. I love the Punisher. The Punisher. Is there any?
Right.
I had to tell them what Marvel's doing with the Punisher, and they were like outraged. So
yeah.
I'm making my character the patriarch. He's everything manly.
Yeah, well, I just thought it was funny that Marvel would throw the plumbers in with cops and the military,
Yeah, because the plumbers are bad guys. Yeah.
Oh yeah, all the shit that they've seen go down.
I hate to say it because I'm a New Yorker, but it's these liberal New Yorkers that they pretend to care so much for the common man as long as the common man's not around.
Yep. Keyboard warriors, man.
Yep. Respect for the trade. I'm a construction worker. I'm an electrician.
Yeah. Well, dude, my dad was a painter, I've had family, blue collar, like my uncle's a cop.
My grandfather was a painter. My father was a telephone man, like Marcus.
Right. So I just think it's funny.
We're all blue collar New Yorkers,
Right. Well, I'm out here in the West Coast, so believe me, as bad as you think it is in New York, it's nowhere nearly as bad as California, bro.
At least you got the nice weather over there.
Hey.
We
Calm
do.
down. I live in Canada.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
He lives in Canada.
You win.
I win. I don't know what I win exactly, but I win.
Yeah, well, you're going to get taxed for rainwater, right?
Oh, geez, dude, there's so much tax and so much more tax coming down the line. Like, it's ridiculous. They've got all these taxes that are planned. This country's insolvent, so they've got to get their money somehow, right? So,
yeah,
that's what
you got to get rid of
does.
Trudeau, man.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Renzo,
you got to get rid of Trudeau, man.
Twitter, he drew Italian Spider-Man years ago because he loves it so much.
Nice.
There's a reason why I love Renzo.
Dude, Renzo's a beast, dude.
Yeah, I told him if we raise enough money, I want him to fly out to New York, and maybe do a road trip down to Heroes Con or something. Just me and Renzo driving in a car, that would be awesome,
Yeah. Well, dude, come to California. We can fuck some shit up out here, man. We can go raid a couple Walgreens. They're not going to stop us.
For a while, I lived in San Francisco for a while, and
yeah.
But
we can steal out here.
Actually, San Diego is the most beautiful place in the world. It's just that it's too expensive to live.
It was beautiful. Dude, go to Frisco now, man. You step over one pile of shit to step into another.
I'll tell you, when I'm a kid who used to hang out in Manhattan, and a punk rocker, asked Matt Bauer, and just old school Manhattan.
Yeah.
I never felt scared until I went to San Francisco.
Please tell me you had the beard when you were doing your punk rock scene.
No, I was bald, and then at one point I had a big old mohawk too. Believe it or not, I had the GBH mohawk. I'll never forget the day I got the mohawk. I came home, and I brushed it down but it was like 4:00 in the morning. But my sister was awake, and she went like this, I knew right away. I'm in bed. I'm in sleep for about 20 minutes. I wake up to my mother, this face. She goes, "What did you do to her?"
Those were the days, bro. I was a punker too when I was a kid, man.
Yeah, I know some of my friends have pictures. I know I could show you I lost my driver's license. I got an updated one, but I actually had to get a new driver's license because it's clean cut me back when I was a school teacher, and I had to get security clearance to work at the airport. They didn't believe it was me. They made me get a new updated driver's license photo because I didn't have a beard.
Nice.
And, I had the school teacher look.
Oh shit. Hey buddy, I gotta run now. Like my phone's literally about to go. But again, congratulations, dude. You're doing great. Keep it going, bro. I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you. And,
yes. And we will talk soon, huh?
Yeah, come back. Yeah.
All
Come back anytime.
For sure, man. Congrats. And it was nice meeting you.
Yeah.
It was nice. Your name's Nick, right?
Yep. Elon
It was nice meeting you too, Nick. And I also have a stream. Well, I also have a stream. You guys should both come on it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
At some point. Yeah.
Sounds good.
My private messages or DMs, whatever it's called, they're always open. I don't close it to anybody.
Cool, man. Sounds good, dude. I'll talk to you guys soon, man.
All right.
For those
Talk
of
to you,
you,
man.
All right. Have a good night.
Yeah. It was funny because we were brainstorming characters for his comic because it's the Plunger and he's fighting I forget one of them, but I was like the Colonizer, so that might actually be a character. And then I like a cis army man. It's just a regular guy, So let's see if that happens.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, how are you feeling? Are your nerves still way up there? Or are they?
I'm able to eat now, thank goodness, because I'm starving and wasting away to nothing.
Right. Yeah.
My wife knew I wasn't going to come upstairs for a real dinner, so she picked up some burgers on the way home, and I took one bite and I said, I think I'm going to get sick and I'm going to go live, And so I didn't eat until after Bancroft. I was just so nervous. You can hear my voice is starting to go. I've been talking constantly now since 7.
I call shenanigans on this Fund My Comic thing. I do not see any kind of add-on thing at all. So I don't know what who is it that hopped in and was talking about it?
Pixel Trader?
Or no, was it? Maybe. Or was it?
Yeah, Pixel Trader.
I thought it was the other guy from the Ariel.
Yeah, that's him. That's
the same dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
You remove the coins, otherwise I'd have to give everybody
Pixel Trader. I see. Okay. Yeah. So
they got early bird bonuses. So there you go.
Yeah, totally.
So, no problem.
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out the add-ons. I'm not seeing it. So if he's willing to jump in there and figure it out, but the only thing that I can see is to add another reward, and then people would add 2 things. That's
what he think. That's what he said. We're probably gonna have to do.
Yeah. Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because he says that add-on is just like if you have T-shirts, that'll tell you what size to pick. So I guess it'll be another thing to just add. Yeah, I don't know if you got the coin. I wasn't sure. I don't know how to check that yet, but whatever. It is what it is. It's early. First day. It was a first day reward. Early backer, early bird.
One thing always happens. Always goes wrong, right? Yeah. And you got it out of the way. There you go.
I'm not worried.
All right. So, what are the big plans beyond issue 1 here, John?
Well, Renzo
blockbuster movie.
I'm sorry.
A blockbuster movie.
Yeah. I'm gonna. I already have. I'm in talks with John Hamm to play the Patriarch.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
I see you've been actually that came a little too quick. That makes me think that you've been thinking about this a little bit.
Well, it's funny because a bunch of people already asked me who's going to play the Patriarch in the movies, so I have been thinking about it.
Right.
Yeah, I want the who was the girlfriend in Parks and Recreation who
Oh,
played.
I've never watched that.
Oh, she ended up marrying the tiny Indian guy at the end, but I want her to play Regina Lopez, the reporter. She would be perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
For the three hot chicks, who's the three hottest girls? Sydney Sweeney as the blonde. The brunette will be Sherilyn Finn, but from like 1992.
Yeah, I was just gonna say most of the women that I can think of are all from like the 90s.
Yeah.
What's her Nikki Taylor? A huge crush on her. I don't know if you remember her, Nikki Taylor, or like Claudia Schiffer, or
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
These are all the Sports Illustrated models.
Back in the day.
Brady
Yeah.
Name without actually made a one-time gift code record. Oh wow, yeah. We don't get your American shows in Canada. We just watch Degrassi and the Beachcombers. Oh, DC, where are you in Canada? Where are you in Canada? I just, it's funny. I guess I just assume everybody's American until I know otherwise. Renzo, oh, you're in Vancouver. Oh, Vancouver is beautiful. My mother-in-law lived in Vancouver, and unfortunately, when she passed, my wife and I had to fly out there to deal with all her leftovers and everything like that. And if not for the somber reason to go there, I really would have enjoyed Vancouver. And I was like, I got to go
nice.
for a walk. A lot of people in an apartment. I as much as I'm a people person, I also enjoy my solitude. 50-50.
We enjoy it when you go away
you
for your
enjoy my
solitude as
solitude,
well.
yes.
Yeah.
I'm if you're watching the Jim Starlin thing I did with Kelsey, I am the in-betweener, in between. So I was like, I'm gonna go find a comic store. My wife goes, there's no comic book stores. I walk outside, I've got my head down, I look up, I go, there's a comic store. And I spent the rest of the trip going back and forth to that comic store. It was great. There are a lot of kid shows I didn't realize were Canadian until Degrassi High. That was big when I was a kid, or at least a late teen.
I couldn't stand that. I wouldn't watch that.
I never watched it. The only I love Saved by the Bell.
Oh yeah.
I watched that one. Yeah, it's funny because AC Slater would come and he would spin the chair around and sit with the chair. So we used to joke that we were gonna AC Slater. We were making up a disgusting maneuver. So when you AC Slater somebody, you go into their house and you sit on the toilet bowl facing the wall and poop that way. That's called AC Slatering.
AC Slater sounds a little too much like Ass Slider.
Well, there you go. It's all interconnected. Harriet's Magic Hats.
Shit!
I thought
that's a Canadian. That's a Canadian
I
show.
thought Bob was just having a stroke or something and just
No, well, no, he's had 5 strokes today, but no, that's not a product of a stroke. That was a Canadian show. It was not. I don't know. I avoid it. Okay, so as a Canadian, watching so much American television, like this is before streaming and everything else, where there wasn't like, you needed a VPN to watch this or that or whatever. Like when Cody was doing the race for the Cyberfrog car, I had to actually get a VPN in order to watch the damn race because there was no way for me to watch this thing without paying through the nose, our cheap Canadian dollar. But it's good. It's pretty mediocre. Yeah. There's so many shows in Canada that like the moment that you turn the TV on and you turn the channel, you would just, as a Canadian, you get a whiff that this was a Canadian show, and I just immediately switched the channel. It didn't matter. I didn't care. I didn't want to watch anything.
If I get a whiff that's of a Canadian, I leave. So there you go. I totally understand.
That's understandable. Yeah.
It's a sickly mix of Canadian bacon and maple syrup.
Maple syrup. Yeah. How many more times are you gonna go to the well on that one?
I know. I was gonna say I can't talk to Nick without somehow slandering. Right now, I'm sure. Any minute now, my wife is gonna stomp down the steps because she
totally. Yeah. And I'll laugh. I'll be screaming like all Canadian expletives while she's beating you on screen.
Well, it's good that they'll be Canadian because then I won't be able to understand them. Because
Exactly.
Yeah.
English. Uh-huh.
My favorite Canadian show by far is Corner Gas. I love.
I've seen like maybe 2 episodes of it. I you know, it's still it had that smell of Canadiana in it, but I could see that it had some charm and it interested me. I just never got around to actually watching it though.
And well, because Brett Butt, the main guy of the show, the guy who runs the gas station, he's a comic book fan. It's always reading Savage Dragon, which I thought was funny because every time it would come on, I'd pay attention to see what comic he was reading, and then he would just like make references to comics every once in a while, and it's like the lightest, most inoffensive show. Like you could just you're in a bad mood, just put on Corner Gas.
Yeah. I had a friend, Polish guy. He had moved from Poland to Canada, I think, when he was like 14 or 15 or something like that. His mother had passed away, and so his mother's sister, aunt, had lived in Canada, so he got shipped, out here. So I met him. We hung out, played basketball. Great friend. Never collected comics or anything like that, but anytime he would come over, he would always pick up my Savage Dragon, and read it. And eventually he ended up becoming a cop. So that was pretty funny.
So moral of the story, don't read Savage Dragon or you'll become
a cop.
Yeah.
Bad idea. What were you reading to become an electrician?
I kind of stumbled into becoming an electrician out of hatred of being a teacher.
Yeah, I remember.
I was just like, I applied to be a cop. I applied.
I got to be honest. I mean, if you were my teacher, I'd hate you.
Right? Yeah. I hated. Yeah. I don't. I was miserable.
I'd be like spitballs and everything. Yeah.
I was miserable. So, and I was only getting more and more. And this was like 2003. Can you imagine if I made it to like these politically correct? Because it was politically correct back then.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! Like, I remember the principal told me not to use a red pen. She goes, use a purple pen when correcting the. I said, yeah. And then 30 years from now, people are going to equate purple with nastiness, and told me not to use a purple pen. Use a blue. I said, how about the color doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, she just looked at me like.
Yeah, you'll just move through all the colors of the rainbow until you get back to the same color
you
started with red.
In 180 years,
Exactly.
Yeah. So, what else you want to talk about? We made fun of Canada. Let's see. What other countries can we make fun of? What countries? It seems like Canada and the United States are the only 2 countries you're allowed to make fun of.
I think that'd be true.
Cameroon. Let's screw Cameroon, right? That's it. Named after a shrimp.
Nice.
Canada envies the United States because we don't have whatchamacallit bars. Oh, you don't have whatchamacallit bars?
Are you kidding me? Is that a thing?
Okay. So you don't even know about it, but you make up for it in hickory sticks. So it's actually you win. Hickory sticks are the greatest things ever, to the point where I special order them from a Canadian favorites website to get back to Okay, Renzo rarely makes demands. So when he makes a demand, we must listen. Let's get back to Jesse Spano, please. Yes. Who is your favorite character in Saved by the Bell?
Oh.
And if you say Diamond, I'm kicking you off this stream so fast.
If I say what, please, I need to say whatever you said.
If you say Screech.
Screech. No.
I remember
it was that one chick. She was super hot.
Well, all 3 of oh wow, I just realized something. Renzo. There's 3 girls that are the henchmen for Boss Moxie, and they're the 3 girls from Saved by the Bell.
Oh, hilarious!
Blonde, a black girl and a brunette.
I just
that on purpose, Renzo.
Saved by the Bell.
What's his name? Jesse Spano and Zach used to say they hated the reunions because Dustin Diamond, Screech, would always hit them up for money.
Oh yeah, there's Tiffany Amber Thiessen, Lark Voorhees.
Renzo, we just cracked the code. Renzo put Saved by the Bell in my comic book. That's kind of brilliant. I'm actually impressed.
Yeah, Elizabeth Berkley. She was
Elizabeth
the one
Berkley is
that I
beautiful.
thought was super hot.
Timberly Amber Thiessen.
Oh, Jesse Spano. That's
and Lark
that's who he's talking about.
Yeah, and Lark Voorhees. It's all connected. You see, Nick is a conspiracy guy, and we just unlocked the conspiracy between Heroic Tales and Saved by the Bell.
That's not a,
Oh. Now I gotta somehow work Mr. Belding into issue 2 of Saved by the Bell. Saved by Heroic Bells. How's that? Saved by the Tales. I don't know.
what was the last comic you read?
The last comic I read was this right here, X-Force. I've been getting
What year is that?
2012.
Okay.
I've
Look
been
at the
getting
cover. That looks like Cherist almost.
it's Sandoval. The
Okay.
art is really good.
Mm.
It's Dennis Hopeless, who I don't know what happened to him. He was a big deal, and all of a sudden he's gone. This was actually pretty good. Domino and Colossus did the nasty.
Okay.
Oh,
And Colossus.
here's a little preview. This is the art for the Boss Boxy trading card. His secret identity is Jerry Duggan, which is my foreman at work. He asked to be in my comic book, so I made him the villain. So he wants this. So I'm going to frame this, and I'm going to write, "You tried to rob a bank, but all you stole was my heart." And my foreman is a nice guy, because he might be listening. Nah, let's be realistic. He has no interest in comic books. He thinks I'm a freak. We got Crom. Here you go. You meet a kid who might like comics. You get one issue to put their hands to win them over to the medium. Okay. I was reading this without punctuation. Let me start this over again. Here's a good question. I like this. You meet a kid who might like comics. You got one issue to put in their hands to win them over to the medium. Any issue, any era. What do you put in their hands? That is a great question. If it's a young kid, I know I'm an old fogey, but I'd put Avengers 165. It's when the Avengers fight Count Nefaria, when Count Nefaria gives himself the powers of Superman. It's everything. It's John Byrne artwork. I think it's even George Perez inking it, and it's written by Jim Shooter. It is just awesome. It's probably my favorite mainstream comic of all time. If he's older, like a college age kid, I'd give him Hitman 34, where Tommy Monahan meets Superman, and they discuss the nature of being an American, patriotism, immigrants, what it means to be Superman. Oh, it's such a good comic. Secret Wars #4. Why, Kevin? Why Secret Wars #4? But Secret Wars, that is such a fun series. By the way, Secret Wars will be the next series that Kelsey, Shannon, and I do on Two Beards, One Comic. Nick is giving this way too much thought. Crom, what's your answer?
I am giving it way too much thought. I'm just thinking, like, I'd probably just do, like, if it's a young boy, I'd probably give him a Wolverine book or something.
Oh, okay. That Kevin,
Like,
same answer as me. Because Avengers 165, I love that comic. So Kevin says that's the issue that got him. So why not? Yeah. An issue of Batman Adventures by Kelly Puckett and Ty Templeton. Any particular issue, or just any issue of their collaboration? I never got the Batman Adventures, and I really should. Everybody talks about how good they were. I never got, like, I didn't get the Ultimates. Like, once there was like an alternate line, I didn't like them, with the exception of Tom DeFalco's M2 line. With like Spider Girl and the. I really like those, but those were just like 80s comics. They look like 80s comics. They sound. I don't know if it would win them over, but my favorite single issue is Marvel 2-in-1 Annual 7, the Champion versus. That's a good one. This, if I could manage to get it without knocking everything over, is perhaps one of the greatest comics ever produced, and we will be doing it. This will be the finale for the Warlock series that Kelsey, Shannon. like I was saying to Kelsey, regular comics at this time were 25 cents. This was a whopping 60 cents. Can you believe inflation? 60 cents. And it was on the spinner rack at the 7-Eleven. We stopped in to get cigarettes because we were driving for 4 hours and we had to be inhaling smoke the whole way. It wouldn't be a trip with my parents if we didn't inhale smoke. And we stopped at 7-Eleven and I was like, Mom, yeah, get me that. And she looked at the seriousness in my eyes and said, yes. I cannot believe my mom shelled out 60 cents back in 1974. That's $800 in today's money.
Really, no doubt.
And
$1,600 Canadian.
yeah, for me, any comic with John Bogdanov, I can never pronounce the name, or John Byrne art. That's yes. John Byrne is
Bogdanov.
Yeah, I couldn't pronounce his name. John Byrne and George Perez. Like, it's like a revolving door. Whichever moment in time you catch me on, I'll say is my favorite. But for superhero comic books, John Byrne and George Perez, and that's Renzo. To me, if you take John Byrne and George Perez and make this cute little Mexican baby, you get Renzo Rodriguez. 60 cents. That's highway robbery. I know. And I remember Ken Kings were $1.75 at the time. That's what my mom smoked. So 40 people are watching this nonsense. Thank you.
I'm thinking like Uncanny X-Men number. It's a Jim Lee issue. Let me hop in and take a look. Jim Lee issue, and it's got Gambit in it, and it's pretty freaking crazy. Oh no, not that. Probably share my screen in a bit here.
Oh, I remember this. Crom says another good. Crom, why don't you come in? Come in with us. Another good one is episode of West Coast Avengers when the Voice commands him to all kill Hank Pym. It really showcased his abilities and the mini massive perspective. It was really cool. Is that the one when he had like all of these gadgets in his pockets? Like at this point, Hank Pym could shrink things and grow things because like his body was saturated with the particles. If that's the one I'm thinking of, it really showed how like miniaturation is such an underrated power. It in the real world, like the ability to miniaturize things, and you'd be unstoppable. To the point, I remember the Beast was talking to the Avengers, and he was just like, someday they're gonna, these Sentinels are just gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger. He goes, and then worse, they're gonna get smaller, and and I was like, yeah. And then around the same time, the Atom in the JLA comics, to spoil a 30-year-old comic, the Atom kills Dark.
Right.
That is just awesome.
Issue number 277 of Uncanny X-Men.
Issue 277.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what it. I'm sure I have it.
Here, let me.
Yeah, Astro City was a comic that I still love. They don't make it anymore, and I remember reading it with Kevin. And Kevin, do you remember reading the Doctor? Yeah, of course you remember. You brought it up the other day on camera. When Doctor Doom skins his lover and makes flesh armor. It was. I remember giving that comic to Kevin to read and then watching him read it. I just sat there while he read the comic, and he got to the last page, and we were like looked at each other. I remember that. And then I watched Kevin shower. It's just a guy thing. All right, I didn't get quite the laughs I thought I was going to, but whatever. It's late for me, and I've been up since 3:30 this morning.
Here, go ahead, share my screen.
Oh, okay, yes.
This issue is just like everything. This is Jim Lee firing on all cylinders, Scott Williams, and everything in the kitchen sink is thrown in this.
The same letterer that did the Warlock comics that we were showing today.
Absolutely love this. Look at this.
Look at that page.
So if you're like 10 years old,
oh my God, yes, I defer to you. This is a better choice.
This is so much fun. The tech, the powers, the presentation.
Look at that
everything.
Ship. Go back to that ship. Oh my God,
it's insane.
Look at that ship. That is so cool.
Like how did he even begin to conceive the ship? Like, yeah. Oh, it's amazing. And I mean, this is back then. I mean, now it'd be so much easier with like Clip Studio and some of the art programs that are out there to be able to like build out like how this might like function or look, especially if you're using any sort of like 3D models or anything. If you're a 3D modeler, like I can model in 3D as well. So I could see myself like if this ship was going to be featured, like think about this as well. If this ship was going to be featured throughout the entire story, it might make sense for you to model it so that you could use it several times. You just basically model it once, and then now you can kind of reposition it, whatever. Jim Lee's throwing this on a page, and we never see this ship again.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, that's insane.
That FF with Dr. Doom was drawn by Mike. I think you're right, Renzo. I think it was, and I think it was written by Mark Waid. You know, as much as Mark Waid gets under my skin, I'm not gonna lie. He is a talented comic book writer, which infuriates me. You know, you think a guy who writes such a wonderful comic wouldn't be such a jerk. And toss me the link again. I sent you the link. And what is this? G.I. Joe 21, the silent. Oh, is that the silent Snake Eyes? I don't have any G.I. Joe comics. I don't have any of them. Oh, we got Crom the Creator as opposed to Crom.
Good to see you. Good to see you, and congrats again.
Thank you.
Yeah,
and I saw you back. Thank you.
It's hilarious because it was like a throwaway, right? Like he put that on the page. Obviously not as a throwaway. It was relevant to that page, but it's like this wasn't something that was like, okay, we're gonna like make this.
Yeah, it's not a story feature.
This isn't Devastator.
It's not like Serenity from Firefly, where they took forever
like
to
a
design
set piece.
that. And, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
It was, John, just to backtrack slightly, it was that he had all that crap in his pockets. But what was really interesting, why I found it such a fascinating comic, was he at one point, I remember the panel vividly. At one point, Tigra is walking past Moon Knight, and they're looking for Pym. And she's like, oh, and did you see him? No, I didn't see him. And they're like standing by like this pillar. And they both walk away, and it pans up the pillar. And it's not a pillar at all. It's a box and wrench that he put on the ground and made massive. And he's sitting, he's inside the wrench, the mouth of the wrench, like looking down at them, listening, and like outwitting them, right? And so it was that moment where you're like, oh, if you could get into Pym's perspective, right? What he can kind of think of the world as, what a brilliant thing to do in the medium, right? It was just such a great use of a comic and what it can do. It was great.
I remember one of the last comics before I dropped Marvel, some kids like got into his lab. They were like school kids doing like a field trip, and one of them put Pym particles on another kid as a joke. And that kid was like in the lawn, you know, like a suburban lawn, just like lost in the lawn.
Full Honey I Shrunk the Kid style.
Yeah. And Pym flipped out. He goes, do you have any idea how dangerous it is? Yeah. He goes, how long ago did you do this? He goes, 30 minutes ago. He goes, he's probably dead.
Yeah.
Do you know how dangerous it is to be insect sized? You know, he goes, I'm lucky I didn't die on my first adventure. I thought that was so scary, you know, Pym. But what would you said about that wrench? As a construction worker, I would love the ability to make my box open wrenches the size that I actually need.
Yeah.
I need a 9/16, and all I got is a 3/8, and I'm skinning my knuckles as it slides off, and I'm scraping the copper.
I spent the last month essentially, because I haven't had any contracts. I've been working at my brother's bike shop wrenching. And literally every single day, because bikes are all insane, I will there's at least a 2-minute period of me staring into the drawer of the box end wrenches going, is that a 10 mil? Is it a 9?
10 millimeter.
Fuck. Right. Like, it's all metric. And and
I'm
right. Literally just digging through them like, what was I doing? Like every day.
That's you live another kid ate. I'm outnumbered. I might as well just give in.
Yeah.
Oh, there's plenty of
especially with your wife.
There's plenty of standard as well. Don't get me wrong.
Because that's just like a nightmare at work. It's like 3/8, 9/16. Every like 90% of everything's 3/8, 9/16, and then we're just like, why isn't it working? God damn it! It's metric. 10 millimeter. Like it becomes like, send the apprentice, for God's sake, send the apprentice. We need a 10 millimeter socket.
What I love is when I get bikes, certain bikes where they're manufactured, like some Europe, some not so Europe, you know, what have you. but they'll have mix. Like they'll have certain things that are metric and certain things that are standard. And I'm like, what are you? What is wrong with you people that you did this? Like your minds are broken.
It's funny because I enjoy those memes that you see now. They're just like Americans will do anything to not use the metric system, you know. And it's like, how tall are you? And it goes, or when you talk to an American, they start talking about their feet, and I started laughing because I never think about how weird that is. You know, we use inches and feet because a foot is supposed to be some ruler's, some king's foot, and an inch is supposed to be the width of his thumb. So it is bizarre, you know. Like, why don't we use cubits in a span still? You know.
Do you know who beats all of us?
By the way,
Brits. The Brits are all insane because they have those two and then a series of other insane sizes that, like, they measure themselves like their weight in stone.
Yes.
Like,
what are you, witches? Are you witches over there? Is anybody British over here? Can you confirm if you guys have practiced witchcraft?
Well, my sister-in-law's is like her whole family all moved from the UK like in 2002 kind of thing. So, like, it's rife in my life, like all the Britishisms and whatnot. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And I think their food is just based on, like, poverty or something. Blood sausage and beans on toast.
It depends where you are, but yes.
Hey, John, we just backed both covers. Very happy to see the camp. Oh, thank you, Vavavoom. Thank you so much. And, of course, I must address Renzo, my buddy. I hope our partnership lasts for a long time. Yes, Wade is a very good writer. That's something we can't deny yet. And FF was amazing and a very good. Yes, they met God in Wade's last issue, and God looked like Jack Kirby. It was really good. It was such a good run. Like I said, Mark Waid, when he did, I never liked the Flash, and then Mark Waid did the Flash, and he, excuse me, I'm like talking so long. He made the Rogues Gallery like interesting, you know, and then, you know, Heat Wave was this crazy kid who was obsessed with being cold. Like, he didn't want to be cold, so he would wear, like, you know, too many clothes in school, and, you know, it was just so cool. And then he goes, and I know other people whose names I won't mention don't like when I say this, but Mark Waid then went and created Comicsgate. Mark Waid is the godfather of Comicsgate. By kicking Richard C. Meyer out of the comic store, Richard crowdfunded, and to me, that's the beginning of Comicsgate.
I'm sure that there's probably like you know, TikTok banned in India level messages as well, like other bellwethers and things that are responsible. But, you know, all right.
Yeah, there was a couple of battles before the Revolutionary War. But
I'm mostly thinking that, you know, the fact that the big two were trying to ruin their business for like 4 decades before any of this. Like,
yeah,
it's very weird. It's just been.
Well, how many
decay.
times were you with your friends and you'd have these conversations? You know, like when you're young. And you're sitting there going, you know, Marvel's really messed up right now. What would you do to save Marvel? We had those conversations like 20, 30 years ago. What would you do to save Marvel? Because Marvel's really screwing it up.
I thought about it was like after Image formed and all of the major talent left Marvel, and you had horrible books like what the hell is the name of that Iron Man team? Oh, God. ForceWorks. Does anybody you see? You don't even remember.
I don't even know what you're talking about. So that must have been a real winner.
And then Marvel got so bad that they did the Heroes Reborn, or, you know, oh my God, you know, we've like Joe Quesada and Jimmy Palmiotti really saved Marvel. We you know, do people even realize how bad Marvel was before those two came and saved? And then their biggest mistake was they brought in Brian Michael Bendis, which to me was like patient zero of the SJW years. Mm-hmm. I'm Not Starfire was a bad one. I remember people. Yes. Unfortunately, that was when the rot had set in so deep. You know, there was I Am Not Starfire. I tell you guys, I wish the Patriarch was my what is the word that self-insert? I wish I could claim the Patriarch as my self-insert. Unfortunately, I'm more like the villain who I'm leaving unnamed for you to discuss this. I will say, I think it's around issue 3. I will give you my self-insert's name, Augie Carmichael. is it will be if I make it to issue 3, and you will look at this and go, "That's your self insert." Yeah, that's how I see myself. That's all. Just remember this for untold future.
I see myself as a golden Adonis.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Issue 5, Golden Adonis. He's gonna have a big axe that he's gonna nick people with.
That's
You get
exactly
it?
right.
You get
Yeah.
see how subtle
No,
I am?
I don't. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, what do you think of this stuff, John?
Okay, let's bring it back. I don't have. What year is this?
2016.
Yeah, so this is after I stopped, but the art looks glorious. But
So
this is when he lost the hammer and Jane Foster became Thor.
I think so.
Yeah, but
This
this
is
art-
Olivier Coipel. Have you heard
Oh.
of him?
he's good. He's good.
Yeah. Miller has
The chat and hail to the panel. Thank you, Felix. Good to see you. Thank you.
Mark Millar's hired him to do a couple of things for him as well. Like I think it's called Magic, the Order or something.
Oh,
like that.
really? I have all of the Magic the Order. I haven't read them yet.
Yeah, like the first 6 books are Olivier Coipel.
I'm so behind on Mark Millar's books, and I'm a big fan of his. To be honest, he's one of the only exciting things in mainstream comics. This art is beautiful. Look at that Beta Ray Bill.
I just finished reading. What's it called? Unborn? No, Is that what it is? I don't know. I'll see if I can find it here.
You're a digital comics guy?
Well, I'm both.
He's the guy that collects
So-
everything.
Reborn.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Nick is by.
Totally by.
If there is media of it, he possesses it in physical and digital forms,
That's true.
like the collector.
Do you guys? I firmly believe to physical media, like they're editing comics now, like they're deleting people's Spotify account. Oh, this is nice art.
Yeah, this is Capullo, I think. Let me just flip through.
I think
This is
oh
Miller.
Reborn. Yeah, I got these. I didn't read them yet, but they look so good.
Actually, I read this, and how do I say? Like, it was what kept me going was the art, but the story started to improve. It was a bit spotty, but then the end was pretty effing good.
Oh, okay.
I was like, okay. At least he stuck the landing.
What's going on, John?
Hey, how you doing? How's everything?
Good. Came in to say congratulations and give you a cheers there, buddy. Congratulations on the big launch, man.
Thank you. I
Couple of good books launched tonight. Yours
Yeah.
and Hockey's, and you guys are killing it. And
I was going to launch last week, but I did not want to compete with Phenomenova.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
he announced it first, so I was like, he announced it first. I put off for a week. So it was just another week of not being able to eat or sleep or digest. It was no big deal.
Buddy, I know exactly how that feels. Like, I mean, you got to imagine us at Broken Compass. Like, we have 6 books coming out this year, and it's like, I don't think I've eaten in 4 weeks,
Oh, look
maybe
at
a month.
Do you have any active campaigns now? If you do, put the links in the private chat. We'll throw them in.
Odin Dasco's
Odin Dasco has the greatest mustache in all of
he
independent.
does. He
I
does.
have to throw that out.
My partner in crime definitely does. We do have Unconditional Shove Volume 1, the reprints. That's live right now. I'll throw
Odin, if you've seen Animal House, Daniel Simpson Day, D-Day, that's Odin Dasco.
Well, he looks like Daniel Day-Lewis is who he
Yes.
looks like.
He looks like that too.
But
It's-
like Last of the Mohicans, Daniel Day-Lewis?
No, like Gangs of New York.
I left-
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Oh, damn.
Gangs of
Yeah.
New York.
Butcher Bill up in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely a butcher, Bill. But yeah, we do have Unconditional Shove Volume 1 reprints going on right now. But Magnificent Bastards launches May 31st. So that's
Oh,
going to be a hoot.
Are we still looking at Reborn? This is really good.
Yeah.
So James, we were asking, and we might as well ask you. Let me find the exact quote. Some freak named Crom asked this question. Oh, here it is. Okay, here you go. You meet a kid who might like comics. Oh, you'd said kid. Okay, you get one issue to put in their hands to win them over to the medium. Any issue, any era. What comic would you put in their hands?
Is it kid? So it needs to be a kid.
I say kid, but I mean, I would open that interpretation up to like, if you think about like, this is what I'd give like a 10-year-old, and this is what I'd give a 14-year-old. Like kid, I think has a very wide interpretation.
Right. But like, I mean, for like between 10 and 14, that's a pretty wide margin.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm mostly saying that because I think that's still in the era where the impression that a comic can make and actually set something in the wet cement of their mind can happen. Once someone's 15, they suck.
Yeah, I mean, like I could definitely go with the like 14, 15 kind of mindscape, because that's when I realized I wanted to do comics. Because somebody handed me a comic called The Crow. And that changed everything for me. I've always been into movies and this kind of thing. Like, I mean, 80s child, right? Like I grew up watching RoboCop and like Predator and like everything you're not supposed to watch. The Thing, like Return of the Living Dead, like all these movies you're not supposed to be watching, right? And it's like you already back in the 80s, that's just how we were raised, I guess. And but when that comic was handed to me, I was like, oh, there's a completely different medium. Because I was familiar already with Spider-Man and like fucking DC, Marvel comics, but that was a completely different thing altogether. And I think it's important for anybody of any age to realize that that's what's accessible. I think a lot of people still think that all that exists is Cape books, and as much as I love you, John, I hate Cape books. Like Batman, I love. I've been on this crazy Batman. I've been on a
so you like issue
Paul
3
Dini
then.
kick. I've been on a Paul Dini kick like a fucking madman lately, but like, just typically I don't like Cape books.
I didn't like Western comics, and I didn't like sword and sorcery comics, and I didn't like war comics as a kid, and now I can't get enough of them.
War comics are really good. Like I'm really glad. I can never figure out which way to point.
Yeah, I know.
I'm really glad these re-releases are happening right now, which is the EC Comics library under Dark Horse, under paperback. Because like I have a few of the hardcovers, but like the stuff the war stuff in this, like one of my favorite all-time EC stories is Yellow. Yellow is just like, and perfect adaptation, Tales from the Crypt, the TV series. It's the story of a general whose son is weak and meek and doesn't want to fight, and then he ends up putting him to death and being like, oh no son, it's a fake bullet, just pretend you're brave. And then no, it's a firing squad. And then he goes, yeah, see, my son is in yellow, right? And it's just such a good, like, these war stories, especially from EC, are just chef's kiss.
And the art, these guys are legends. I'm reading the Warren magazines of Creepy and Eerie. I'm collecting them. Oh my god.
I've wanted to, but like I'm already on these fucking EC books, and it's like
I got to get the EC books too.
The Creepy and Eerie, there's like 48, I think, of those collecteds.
I'm getting the original floppies.
Those floppies. You're getting the original floppy. Those collecteds. There's like 48 of them. What do you have?
I just bought this.
Oh, badass.
Yeah, and I was just showing this off the other day. There's a gap in here. They took out the Tintin Goes to Congo because it's racist.
Oh,
so now
they did.
I gotta find a copy of Tintin Goes to Congo and insert it in here. Don't call it a complete edition and then censor it. I understand if you want to make like a cheap copy to put in the stores and it's questionable, but when you're making like $100 collector's editions, those people know what they're getting. So for those of you who don't know, Tintin Goes to Congo, and they draw the big lips and everything, you know. So it's
Well, I mean, if it, just don't be dishonest about it. At the
Right,
very least.
yeah.
Like cut the price down. The what, like $20 that one book would cost, whatever it may be, and say we're not including it for this reason.
no, but that's messing with history. Like
I agree. I agree with you, but don't. What I'm saying is, don't package together a complete edition and call it a complete edition without being
Right,
honest. Cut the price down.
a couple of years ago they did a Captain Marvel, you know, Shazam, Billy Batson, and they collected it. And for a little while, he had like a little stereotype black sidekick. They don't really reference him anymore. And there was like a big, should we include these comics? Should we edit him out or whatever? And it's like, dude, if you're paying for like an oversized collection, hardcover edition, these people know what they're getting. They don't want it edited. But if you're making a $12 floppy to sell at a supermarket,
100%.
you could change it. But when you're making something that's supposed to be an archive edition of historical, like should they edit out Ebony out of the Spirit? Absolutely not.
I had to go find the old Dr. Zeus collected for everything that was, because they
it happened on Mulberry Street.
If I own the zoo or whatever is canceled now or whatever.
Well, I know the one on
You
Mulberry
can't
Street,
get that.
the Chinaman who's eating wontons.
Yeah, that's how dare he? How dare he eat wontons? How dare he? That's a white person food. How dare he? Like, fuck off. I had to go buy a collected edition of I had to hunt down a collected edition of Zeus just because, like, I'm like, they're not printing these anymore. Like, how are we gonna find them? You know, like, it's interesting to me because the world of like other media has become the same now for people that are just trying to preserve old video games, because like the video game publishers won't reprint the video games.
Oh, okay.
But like, so like PS1 stuff, there's stuff that's like the discware, eventually it goes away. Like, oh, you'll never be able to play this game again. For us now in print media, it's like, oh, it's just going to be edited or canceled, where it's never going to be printed again. You can't get it anymore. So I think all that they're doing is that they're artificially increasing the prices of the original prints of these things anyways. Like, if you really think about it, how much is an original copy of like I Own the Zoo or whatever by Zeus going to cost now that you can't buy it on a reprint?
There was a comic book called Witch Doctor by Philip Siebert, and I think it only lasted like 6-7 issues. It was an Image comic, and he was like an occult surgeon, so he would like operate on werewolves, and you know that was his specialty, you know, things like that. And one of the issues was a Dr. Seuss goof, but if you read them out loud, you know, like, you know how Dr. Seuss like is all nonsense. If you read them out loud, it was really summoning spells for demons. So like all the kids in kindergarten would sit in a circle, and the teacher would read the book, and demons would come and possess the children. I thought that was so clever. I love things like that.
That's how you do it, John. You put that in a real comic. Wait till you see the shit that's gonna pop up in your house after you read this comic book. Read it out loud, kiddies.
And the demon is just John in his underwear.
Yeah. Some people say demon, some people say drunkard. You know, it's all the same.
It's Mark Miller with a highlighter.
Here's the part that I wonder about. Has that ever been done and it's been good?
What?
Like
Me and my underwear?
the
It's
editing it. Well, I mean, the part with you and your underwear being a drunkard, I think, is probably a masterpiece. But
Yeah.
I mean more
baby.
like the retconning, the alteration, the editing of history. Like, I can't think of an instance where that's happened and like, oh, the outcome was good. Like,
Yeah.
that's better than what it was before. And
It depends on what you're talking about. Can you broaden the question? Like, are you talking in print media or like just in general?
Well, what popped into my head, and this is completely off topic, but it's a wound that will never heal, is George Lucas meddling on the original trilogy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's what came into my mind which
Or
is
the Raiders
a
of the Lost
different thing.
Ark, or ET, they have walkie-talkies instead of guns.
Yeah, just what the fuck. But
Yeah.
I mean, the print media side, I find like, what is the goal? Like, what do you think you are going to achieve by doing this?
The thing
when
with
you
Star
when
Wars-
you control sorry John, when you control word, to answer your question, when you control words are very powerful things.
Yeah.
And people don't believe it as much as they used to, but the people in the know words are powerful things. All of human history can be quantified with words. It's how we communicate with one another. It is, I can write something and translate it into another language, and suddenly that knowledge is passed to this other culture, right? When you control words, you control fucking everything.
Well,
Yeah,
like
I mean-
in 1984, if you control the past, you could control the present. If you control the present, you control the future. I'm
You
sure.
alter the way people speak. You alter the way they think. Like
Correct.
that's that. That part I understand. I guess I'm more mystified at the supposed good that they're out to achieve here. Which
They're not
is
out.
like,
They're not out for good.
well, and I think that's the acknowledgement, right? Is that it's like there's the claim that it's like we're going to solve a problem of racism or prejudice or whatever that thought process was by eliminating it. The comedy of that being that in eliminating it, you are probably only increasing the likelihood of something like that happening again, which is on that particular thread. And then on the other thread of it is what you're talking about, which is this is really nothing more than an attempt to have mind control through various
I don't
techniques.
think the goal is to prevent it. I think the goal is to cause it.
I'm talking about their claim. Their claim is that they're
No,
going to
and
stop it.
And I'm with you.
It's a bogus claim.
I'm with you. I think the actual goal is to cause it. I don't think the goal is to. If you notice, it's a lot of old white ladies shouting at the sky right now. I don't.
Getting back to Star Wars, I think George Lucas. It just showed that George Lucas either lost the whatever because it shows that he undermined his own character of Han Solo. Han Solo was supposed to be dangerous, scary, and desperate, and his arc is he goes from let's call it what it is. Han Solo was a drug dealer being chased by the police.
Let's call it what it really is. He's a dickbag.
He's a very dangerous person. His sidekick will rip your arms off if he loses a chess match. Han Solo is being chased by the mafia because he lost their drugs, and the Empire, the police, is coming after him, and he's going to do some smuggling. He doesn't know what's going on, and he kills the enforcer that comes to get him. And then later on, he's risking his life to save the princess. That's his arc. He goes from the scary drug dealer to a hero.
Can you
By
tell me
having
Prince
those-
Amidala's arc?
Or having Guido shoot first.
Well, as
It
I
destroys
understand
that
it, she
arc.
must be a drug dealer, if I'm following the arc of this correctly.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I'm
you
sorry,
talk about
I do
dangerous
have
people.
to tip my hat off to Jean-Luc Connery. I haven't seen him around in quite some time. Good to see you, buddy. From BC, welcome.
And getting to your other point about altering things, like what the hell is the name of that Bergeron? That story by Kurt Vonnegut, Harrison Bergeron, where the government tries to make everybody equal. So there's a ballet dancer who's the best ballet dancer in the world, so she's covered in weights, and she's
Oh, I know.
blindfolded.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't. It's not.
Harrison
I know.
Bergeron is the name of the story, and the
I'm just
people are
being
watching.
distracted. I'm being distracted by your Mexican Spider-Man shirt.
Yeah, Italian Spider-Man.
Sorry.
And the people are watching it going, that woman must be a beautiful woman because she's wearing a mask, and she must be a great ballet dancer because she has so they see through the government's ruse, and all they're really doing is destroying art. And I remember reading that in junior high school. I read it in high school. I read it in college, and now nobody knows what I'm talking about. It's like a 6-page short.
I'm familiar with what I can't remember the
handicaps.
title.
Oh, and by the way,
How dare you talk about me like the no? Just
I had a stretch goal where we got to 44 backers, which I have 40. I would eat a cheeseburger live on camera.
Oh, are we eating a cheeseburger now? What kind of cheese? You gotta tell
This
us. What
sounds like
kind.
this
Where-
was retconned. This I don't believe.
Where is that cheeseburger from, sir?
It has always been that way.
What restaurant is it from? Did you cook it yourself? The people want to know.
My wife stopped at Wendy's.
And that looked like a
And I
Wendy's
just couldn't-
bun.
I
I,
couldn't-
was gonna call it. That looked like a Wendy's
I
bun.
couldn't eat. My stomach was in knots. I was so nervous.
No, I knew
Okay,
you were
here's the
gonna. I
important
knew you were
question.
gonna do fine. I knew.
This
Sure.
is the important question. All right. How many layers of bacon does that hamburger have
What?
on it?
Is it a baconator?
It's a double patty baconator
All
on
right.
a pencil roll bread.
Boom.
Because
We're getting down to the nitty gritty.
Fuck
All right.
arteries,
This is the
right?
true journalism.
Hold on here. I'm gonna grab something off the shelf to answer the question from before to say how much this meant to me. Hold on.
I was gonna say, if you grab like a cheeseburger that's been sitting on your shelf, I was gonna give you a round of applause.
He's just got Whopper.
How could
is
I
just
be
waiting.
mad at you?
There's just Whopper sitting there waiting, like in case of emergency.
Yeah, this is my
Break
emergency
glass.
Whopper.
So not the first time I've shown this off, but like the question of what comic would I recommend? That comic meant so much to me that I own every. So this is the ones that I keep on the shelf. This is the Caliber reprints
You know,
from
I'm gonna
like 90, 92, I think. But I own the Caliber versions. I own every print that has ever happened of this book since I was introduced to it. I have purchased, including the ones going back to the originals. Like I have them sealed away in the vault. The Crow means a fuck of a lot to me, and if you need to verify that, you can ask the people that come on Saturday Night Leap, where we had an episode when that new trailer came out for that bullshit Crow movie, and I went on for fucking 2.5 hours complaining, and like just it was misery. They're like,
You're talking about the new one, right? Like,
Oh
the
yeah,
trailer?
yeah.
That was fucking surreal when I saw that. Like, I thought a joke was being played on me.
Yeah. And I went on for about like 2 hours about like how much this book means to me. We watched a fan film which was like done by a bunch of teenagers that was closer to that than the new whatever the fuck that is. This book means a lot to me because it made me want to make comics, and the reason it made me want to make comics was because of the fact that it wasn't a cape book. It wasn't. I mean, technically, it is a cape book if you really think about it, right? But like, it's
Well,
visceral,
I
it's
know you like
gory.
cape books, but the patriarch only wears one cape, so it's
That's
not-
why. No. I'm still gonna like. I backed it already. I'm still grabbing it. It looks great.
Thank you.
Like,
That's Renzo, my buddy Renzo.
listen, that's the big
And
joke.
my third
Like,
polisher Nick over here.
Bastards one. And wait, which one of you is Renzo?
Renzo's not here. He doesn't have a.
I thought you said
Just
Renzo
draw his
is
face
here.
on a paper
Draw
bag.
his
And,
face on a bag and fucking. That's what I was gonna say. Put it up because everybody's always asking for Renzo. I was like, wait, Renzo's here. What the fuck? You're confusing me because I've never actually seen Renzo in person.
no, we're just two random idiots.
Oh, okay.
That's-
Cool.
I don't know who these guys are. I just threw a stream out, and
They won't go away.
I was trying to fish.
And then,
with tuna,
and then
but I
this
haven't seen
James guy shows up. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Is anybody good? Want to come in my chat? Anybody good? Anybody?
Yeah,
Doc
just
fan?
Let me-
Doc fan?
Anybody
Let me just
worth
put
a
something
damn?
out there. Let's put out the spicy take here. That I'm sure there are people who loved the original comics who weren't stoked on Brendan Lee's work, right? That it was a product of its time and what have you.
Even listen, even I just and I want you to. I'm not meaning to interrupt your point.
It's all right.
Even watching the movie, it's not the fucking comic. Okay, the comic tells a very concise story of a guy who comes back from the dead, is hearing voices. The Crow is not a physical thing. It's in his head. And he kills literally every fucking gangster in Detroit. You see him kill every gangster in Detroit, and when he's done, he's cleaned the city of evil completely. And my opinion of what the ending of The Crow is, which people have been like, I'm like, no, that's to me what it is. I don't think he gets to like go home. Like in the movie, it's like, oh, I'm coming back, Shelly, I'm coming home. In the comic, my opinion is that he's just stuck on Earth forever, and that's what he is. He's now this force that kills evil, and he's just there. And
Never read The Crow. I don't own it. I know people are going to be like, "Oh, you like comic books," but you know, I have some glaring holes.
But here's the
in
thing.
my body and in my comic book.
Just to put the button on this.
yeah,
is
yeah.
that maybe
Sorry,
people
I didn't mean
like
to
it.
interrupt.
No, it's all good. But what I'm saying is, I think Bill Skarsgård chickened out if he didn't get shot in the face while making the movie. That's all I'm getting at. All right? If you're going to come back here,
Mixing a bit. I agree with you.
at least Brendan went all the way, man.
He's
Like,
a method actor, right?
Yeah, whatever
If he
you can
survives
say.
the movie,
He died for his art.
You know
and
who
so
I
should
feel-
Bill Skarsgård.
You know who I feel worse for than Brandon is the guy who played Funboy.
Yeah, didn't his life just go to shit?
Yeah, he killed Brandon Lee. He shot him. Like it was.
oh
and
man, I
it
didn't
wasn't.
even think of that.
He was the one with the gun, and he quit acting. He quit everything. Like his life went completely into a spiral because he technically killed Brandon Lee.
Yeah.
It wasn't his fault, but he was the one holding the gun.
Yeah, how do
You
you
know?
I
The-
didn't even think of that.
This ain't no cowboy set, you know. Like
Hey, so Crom, I have a question for you. Should Henry Cavill have some sort of accident or injury now that he played Superman?
I mean, what are you going to do? I don't know what the fuck those movies were. Right? Like,
George Reeves shot himself. Christopher Reeves fell off a horse. Thank God, Keanu Reeves was up.
Brandon
the wall.
Ruth's life
No.
became a misery.
okay, listen, I have an opinion on this. Okay, the Superman
He looked like
Superman
Father
curves,
Salt.
John, the Superman curves, it has hit Henry Cavill. Okay, let's look at this logically.
Yeah, you can't pick a movie that does any box office.
Everything he picks goes woke lately. He
Yeah.
picks Witcher. Oh, suddenly woke. He's like, okay, I'm gonna fucking dip off of that, and I'm gonna go to Warhammer. Now Warhammer is 40 gay.
Yep.
You know.
What do you get? You almost made me choke to death on the
If only.
So wait, are we saying that?
As a stretch goal, I'll turn blue. How's
Stretch
that?
goal as he turns blue.
Are we
ladies.
saying that the TV guys dodged this because it was on TV?
They
Like
dodged
they
it
were
better than
saved
Brandon
by
Lee
the
dodged
medium?
bullet. I mean, is all I'm saying.
True. But Tom Welling and
What happened to
friggin-
being like water? You fuck.
I forget the other guy's fucking name.
All I'm saying is that the curse exists. I mean, everything he touches
Dean Cain.
turns to shit.
Yeah.
Dean,
Thank you.
well, Dean Cain teamed up with what's his name there? What? Oh fuck.
Smiller?
He's no. It's not Smiller. It's
Gabe Altair.
Gabe
Oh,
Altair.
Gabe.
Yeah.
That's right.
So he's doing that book with Gabe, and that's really cool. That they're I don't have beef with anybody. I don't give a shit. Make comics, please, for the love of God.
Mhm.
Make more books. Let's get 50,000 fucking books out this year, baby. Let's do it. Like
I think Dean Cain
Make more
escaped because didn't he bang Terry Hatcher? I mean,
if he
So
did,
he already took his bullet?
I hope he took pictures.
no,
too.
Terry Hatcher took his bullet.
Got you, Terry Hatcher.
Oh, maybe
Got you
that's Dean Cain's problem. Is he is faster than a speeding bullet, so
Mm.
he got to fuck Terry Hatcher, but he like came too fast. She put it all over Hollywood, and he never got work again. But all these guys, they don't get work again. It is true. The Superman curse is real. They don't get work again, and
No, take that back. Brandon Ruth is in 2 Hallmark movies. I know this because my wife makes me watch them over and over.
But
and
I
over.
watched an interview with him, and like that
I-
movie fucked his life up.
I am a Hallmark movie aficionado, sir. So,
Is that a,
You know what?
is
It's
that a
funny
thing?
because you kind of look gay.
well, I mean, the only one that I watch is Riding on the Train with My Sister. I watch it on repeat. It's sitting in the.
He
I
has
have it
watched
on
it
a-
700 times.
I have watched.
I can't say
I
anything.
have watched Rosie O'Donnell act like a retard 700 times in a row in one sitting.
We've all seen her on TV.
Yeah.
I highly recommend.
Acts
I
like
watched-
retard?
So what? So
If
you
that-
watched Roseanne. So did a million other
If
people.
anybody wants to see me, Odin, and Jay Bot, and a few of the other guys, fucking in extreme pain for like 2 hours, go to the Broken Compass Entertainment channel and watch our stream where we watch Riding on the Bus with My Sister, Rosie O'Donnell being retarded for like where there's no plot. It's a Hallmark movie.
I'll raise
Fantastic.
I'll raise you Whoopi Goldberg and Jim Belushi acting retarded in Homer and Eddie.
No, that I could sit through that.
Then you're a better man than me.
I could sit through that. People sit through The View every day. I mean, they watch The View
Do
every
they?
day.
Or has their brain been rotted like cordyceps?
Does anybody watch The View, or is it just on in airports? Because does anybody know any?
There's a lot of airports, John.
There are people in the audience.
Yeah, but they might be AI. They might be inflatable.
Can you imagine? It's just AI audience. They're doing the fucking Frosk clap.
Just a blue dot that they fill in with a face from fucking story blocks.
I will say this. I actually have like a top 10 hottest Hallmark actress list that I've discussed with my wife. She,
Oh, let's go.
Meredith Skeeter. Is that her name? Meredith Skeeter.
Do you have these names memorized, sir?
Oh, yeah.
I gotta know this.
John, you need mental help. All right. Like,
Okay.
yeah, Axel's like, well, gotta leave now.
Meredith Skeeter. How do I I'm looking this up now.
Yeah, I gotta know too. I could not put a face to that name.
I'll let you guys do the work. I don't want that in my search history.
I'll do it. I'm not scared.
Skeeter. I don't even know how to spell that.
I'm not even getting it right. Yeah, I tried like 3 times and
How do you spell Can you spell it phonetically, John?
I'll do you one better.
just put it up on the screen, John. Just do it.
Yeah.
You're the one. You're the one in control of this
This
shit
better
show.
be light core pornography.
There you go. All right,
Looks more like Pinterest pornography. What am I looking
okay,
at?
so
Pinterest pornography.
can you see my? Can you
Yes.
see my? Which
Elizabeth
one?
Thatcher.
I gotta mute myself. You got me there.
This is Elizabeth Thatcher. Oh my God, I love her. Okay, she is awkward looking, but there's something very sexy about her. And she was in a movie with Brendan Ruth. She's up there. But where's my favorite? Oh, this one is great.
Favorite. These look like cardboard cutouts of the same person.
Pornography.com.ca.
I just. Oh my God, I'm watching my
all of them.
I'm watching the Heroic Tales sales go in reverse now.
Yeah.
But where's my
That's how you
favorite?
become a true hero, sir.
It's
This is
just
the real bullet to take.
Yeah.
You thought the Superman curse was bad. When did you experience the Hallmark
curse.
The Hallmark curse.
Yeah, I'm
What
sure
the fuck
EBS.
am I looking
Hallmark.
at? This just looks like a fucking like
A
wanted
casting
poster.
call for a fucking shampoo commercial. Like,
Yeah, it's a wanted poster for the most mundane women on fucking in the United States or some shit.
The roll call of fucking yoga instructors. What the fuck?
The
is going on?
FBI has this on their wall. If you see this woman, don't look her in the eyes. You will
Most
become boring.
unwanted.
Oh, they're not showing my favorite. Oh, well. This one I like. She was in Wilfred. She played the hot actress who lived next door in Wilfred. Anybody watch Wilfred?
That must have been acting.
That was an awesome show. Wilfred is so
Fuck.
good.
It's the fucking experience of her life. I actually acted for once.
That needed Juilliard. She needed to have graduated from Juilliard for that to work.
Oh dear, thank you for an AI audience would be hilarious.
All right, John. So non-Hallmark woman actress. Like, who's the top 3?
Yeah,
What he means is someone
yeah.
that any of us would recognize.
Somebody
Yeah.
somebody with an actual pulse.
Not a flatliner.
Now
He's on the spot.
Yeah.
He's freaking out.
Rosie O'Donnell when she played the retard was pretty hot.
That was hot.
Yeah.
I will admit. She was banging that black guy in the movie, so like she's down with the brothers.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about Super Mario, baby.
Wilfred is one of my favorites. The Australian, I gotta watch the Australian version. Why? I'm picturing faces, but now I can't think of their names. Yeah, I'm so bad with
Meredith
her.
Baxter Burney. That's what you're thinking of.
Yeah, Charlotte Ray.
You wear senility really well, John.
Charlotte Ray, who played Carrie in Different Strokes. Now that was a woman. That was a woman. Oh, to be nestled in her double Z-sized breasts as she, tells Willis and to get up and go to school. Ann B. Davis, who played the maid on the Brady Bunch, there was a woman.
I like Christina Ricci.
Christina Ricci's sexy. Yes.
You got a weird face.
I like
when you see a weird face, you just want to come on it.
Oh God, my wife's upstairs watching this.
Not anymore.
Sorry.
Subscriber
Who's this
lost.
ginger fuck. Christina Ricci is very attractive, and then she did that movie Black Snake Moan.
Yeah,
and was a very dirty girl in that movie,
Yes.
and I liked it a lot. And then I bought it on Blu-ray and VHS and DVD and
VHS.
4K. Listen, you got to have options. You don't know where you're going to end up and who's going to have what device.
You never know when you got to start cleaning the heads with alcohol to just get that copy of Trading Places to work one more time.
You got to watch my Night Court tapes.
Yeah. There's a reference to Red Letter Media. You gotta watch a Videodrome on VHS, otherwise it's not proper.
Dude, I was trying to watch. Okay, so
66 is excellent.
I was
a shifter car.
My night tonight was trying to watch fucking
I think I'm losing control here.
Aliens on 4K with my wife, and she was like, "Why isn't this on VHS?" The entire time.
Why isn't there a laser disc playing?
I can see too much.
I'll never forget.
The frame.
Bobby Williams, when I was in fourth grade, showed me the Jessica Lange King Kong movie on Laserdisc.
I'm glad that went where it
and
went.
I thought this
was
worried. The most bizarre thing in the world. I was like, we only had like 13 channels, and one of them was UHF back then. And this guy from the other side of town had gigantic glow.
Somebody was like, LPs can still make it. We can do it.
Please let him finish the sentence where he said this guy had gigantic.
Please,
well, he was already doing the gigantic.
Leave it to Indy 2K to focus us. Anybody watching the new X-Men cartoon?
It's a great movie. Is UHF?
That's the city.
Just dodging the question completely. Oh shit.
UHF was a great movie.
Yeah. We're gonna make plutonium from household chemicals.
Fuck yeah.
No, I have not watched the new X-Men series.
I have not watched
I have no hope
footage
anymore in me to take on something like that.
I never watched it back in 1990. Even in 1997, I was done with the X-Men. They were just whiny. And
those porn parodies were pretty good, though.
Yeah, I never got into the X-Men cartoon.
Master Square, come on in. The link is in the chat.
What about the porn parodies?
I've never seen these porn parodies.
He's only a man. I mean, come on.
The only porn parodies I watch are Partridge Family porn parodies.
God damn, John, I love you, John.
It does give a whole new impression to All in the Family. That's for sure.
All in the Family.
It just makes you want to appreciate the finer things in life.
By the way, John Holmes played
awesome. Wearing white
with that 12-inch cock he had. Guys like him, they were that made. Those were the days.
Those were the gays.
Yeah, those were the gays. See, I missed it, but I should have gotten it.
It's funny. My wife and I got into we were watching older sitcoms. We started watching All in the Family. Archie really was nasty to his wife.
He's a fucking asshole, of course.
That's the payoff. The payoff is when she dies. When she dies, that's the payoff.
It's
like he holds the slipper to his face, and he's crying. He's like, "I shouldn't have been such a fucking dickbag. What have I done with my life?"
He was only 45 years old when episode 1, season 1 came out.
Holy fuck, that's a hard 45.
Yeah, I know.
Look like you.
That guy must have been smoking 30 or 40,000 packs of cigarettes a day.
I know. Archie Bunker.
Indy, I just need to feel. I feel compelled to point this out. That Indy, if you couldn't get past the first episode, I think that's the marker that it sucks. I think that's the marker of anything that it sucks. Like if you watch the first episode and there's like a nameless malaise in you, and you're like, I can't do it. I can't watch anymore.
Well,
It
I
sucks.
think I figured out why Archie Bunker looks so old at 45.
Because he's
Yes,
married
you-
to a retard.
No, he has to deal with Rob Reiner in his house.
Oh, that's true. Retard and
Yeah,
Rob,
fucking
two
hippie.
retards. Whew.
Rob Reiner's in my house. My hair starts.
Not, Edith, there's not a lot of chromosomes going on in here.
He's drinking toilet whiskey.
Toilet whiskey, believe it or not, is the name of my next comic.
Excellent.
It's a good name of comic. You know, it's a really good show that surprised me. Speaking of Christina Ricci, 15 minutes ago, is that Yellow Jacket show is a surprise
Couldn't do it.
joy. Really?
I
If you
didn't watch
try-
any of it. I just saw the advertising and I was like,
No, it's really
do it.
good. No, it's decent. Okay, spoiler alert, kids. Plug your ears if you don't want to be spoiled on what Yellow Jackets is about. Your headphones are on, sir.
It's about Henry Pym in West Coast Avengers when
It's-
the voice tells him to kill.
It's about cannibalism.
yeah, doesn't like some teenage girls eat somebody on an island?
No,
And
the
they're like-
entire
and then
show's
they're-
about cannibalism.
Oh, I figured it was like something where like they were dealing with the trauma years
No,
later.
no,
And they're like, oh, why did we eat Janine? And you're like, because she was a fucking
because
dick.
Janine was an asshole. We just
Yeah,
had
fuck
to.
her.
No,
Just eat her leg.
they're just like a soccer team or some shit, and they crash in the middle of nowhere, and then like winter, they're like, we're gonna
Yeah.
survive.
So they got to Andy's up this shit.
Yeah, but like the Christina Ricci character like smashes the fucking tracking device on the plane because
She's just an asshole or what?
well, no, because she's like finally feels special. She's like helping, and everybody's like, she's doing a great job, and she's like, I'll
Huh.
continue doing a great job if I keep everybody here.
Yeah, you know,
And then it kind of becomes Lord of the Flies.
volunteer. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's
All
like it's like a lesbian Lord of the Flies with
I
cannibalism.
got a question then. Since the topic of cannibalism is brought up, which one of us four would be the most delicious?
I wouldn't.
Oh, I taste like shit. I smoke like
That
fucking.
narrows it
a
down
pack
to
a
me and
day.
Nick.
I drink a
I
lot.
have 12 cups of coffee a day. I don't know.
That
if
might be tenderizing.
That might be
though.
what kind of coffee?
Mm,
I'm 75% baconator, so I
Yeah, I was going to say the answer's right in front of us. He's already got the bacon in him. We got to get
I guess
after
by
it.
default, yeah,
Yeah,
I can't even
yes,
argue with
but
that logic.
The old are gamey.
Yeah, but it's like gamey bacony. It might be like a
Well,
whole new
that's true.
flavor profile that
The
just blows our
game,
minds.
the gameiator.
I'm 75% baconator and 25% pasta. So, guys, I hate to
He is wearing
it's
the,
nice
wearing the
knowing you. I'm
Italian.
getting devoured.
function.
This is some foie John, I think, that we're looking at
Oh,
right
Jean. Jean.
now.
It's a good show. Watch it.
I don't know whether
okay, I'm going to watch it, but if
What-
you're wrong
what-
and lying to me, I'll find
he's,
you.
he
Yeah.
will find you. He will find you. Yeah.
Don't
I
threaten
don't
me
know
with a
whether
good
to be
time.
proud or sad that my count of viewers is going up since we mentioned cannibalism. So, welcome to
They're like,
Heroic
so wait,
Tales,
so one of these
everybody.
people's going to get eaten right now? Is that what this stream is?
Well, basically, like what I like about the way that the show is laid out is that the way the cannibalism is introduced is in desperation. It's not like it's not done.
Yeah, but-
it's
well-
not done in a sick way.
Of course
Well, remember that show in,
What the
in,
fuck
in,
other
in
ways
the
would
80s?
it be introduced?
It's
I don't know.
It's
I've
not,
watched
it's not presented as a hobby. like
for a
wine
day,
tasting.
For one
It-
day.
it's
for one
like
day.
wine
Fucking
tasting.
eat Janine. Let's
hobby.
do this.
Let's go.
Cannibalism. Yeah.
Do you guys remember
It
that?
could
show
become a
we had-
hobby after a day. I don't know how
Come on.
these women operate.
James,
Listen,
James,
I'm 38 years old. I'm
James.
still trying to figure out what the fuck women want. Maybe they want to eat other
guys-
broads.
Apparently, eat. Yeah. Human.
did you
flesh,
guys in
red
Canada
flesh.
have that show, Casual Cannibal? Now I messed up my own joke. Casual cannibalism. It was like, hey, they're having a barbecue with his arms and feet on the grill. It's
We do have
my joke.
we do have the most notorious serial killer of all time, who is now being speculated to be the Epstein Island of Canada. which is Picton with his
You're
pig
Cana-
farm.
You're Canadian too?
I am Canadian.
Jeez,
Eh?
outnumbered.
And he really did kill a lot of people.
Who else is Canadian here?
My wife. I'm outnumbered.
He's the only American. Let's get him.
Yeah.
You guys are Canadian. Oh man, I'm at home.
Yeah. Where are
Look
you?
at this. I don't need to tell you that. What are you, this fucking CIA?
No,
Get
what's
it?
what
Get
season
it?
Isn't it in Canada?
No, didn't you get it? The CIA?
Yay. I did get it. I just,
He was trying not to get
I don't
it.
hear it anymore.
Yeah, it's true. It's just goes. It's just.
I'm
nothing to
hitting
me.
that symbol, baby. I'm hitting that symbol, baby.
Animal on the drums.
You know, it
Cape
took,
Breton. I'm in Cape Breton Island.
Are you attracted to Canadians, John?
me.
Do we need to do a To Catch a Predator?
Apparently, Canadians are
Canada
attracted to
edition?
John, it seems.
Have a seat, eh?
Yeah, I think it's the opposite.
Today.
I'm married to a Canadian. I got Canadians over here.
Ah, you got a problem,
I
sir.
got Canadians to left of me, and I'm stuck in the middle with you guys.
You have a problem, sir. I'm in the wonderful land of Toronto.
Oh, T.O.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah, the melting pot, as they call it. If shit goes to shit, I'm fucked.
Do you ever go to the Silver,
Yeah.
Do you ever go to Silver Snail Comics?
I used to, and then they all became a bunch of assholes.
No.
Sounds about right.
But like, I haven't been there in a while, so maybe they're okay now.
I went to
They were trying to sell Warbler for like $100 for a sheet of Warbler this big.
what's that? Which Warbler?
So Warbler is like what cosplayers use to make their costumes. A lot of them, it's like wood. It's easy to make. You can make it yourself. It's basically like glue and sawdust, and then you heat it with a fucking thing, and you can shape it to whatever shape you want. And they were like selling like a piece this big for like $100, and I'm like, you guys are a little
If you go to Silver
suspect.
Snail and you're looking at it from across the street to the left, there's a strip club, and I was like, I got to go to a Canadian strip club, and the woman came out to strip. And I'm not even joking. She was.
Did you make it? Did you make it hail? Did you throw fucking toonies?
Yeah.
See, if you're gonna, the problem with that reputation is that it's only really true in Quebec.
Quebec had the best strip clubs in the world.
Those fucking francophones.
I was in Quebec. We went there when I was 18 years old because we wanted to drive someplace where we could actually drink because the drinking age is 21. So we went to Quebec. And I remember we stopped to get gas, and hot girls came out of the gas station to pump gas. We were like, every girl is hot.
As they do.
As they are wont to do.
As they all want to do.
I hate to tell you this, and this is a bit of a stereotype. They are hot there and crazy.
Yeah, hot and crazy.
They also really don't like when you speak English.
Yeah,
So
really don't like it.
They also don't like it when you ask them if their name is Fifi. Because, like, French Canadian girls, we're going to ask them. We didn't realize that was slang for prostitute. So we were going around, dumb Americans calling every girl prostitute. Yeah. So, yes, we were really helping the Americans.
were you wearing that shirt at the time?
I wish. I wouldn't have been able to get the girls off.
Were you eating a Baconator at that
Yeah,
time?
if you'd had the Baconator in your hand,
No,
Did you
you
have
would've
the
had
beer?
them.
Oh, wait a minute. To be
You would
fair,
have
I
had
probably
them.
was
It would have
even-
been over. Like you would have been fucking smothered in fucking Quebec pussy. You'd be like, why does this Baconator taste like Quebec pussy? It's
Jesus.
because I'm smothered in Quebec pussy. What?
which is also a name of another one of my comics coming out, by the way.
Quebec pussy?
Smothered in Quebec pussy is going
Smothered
to
in-
be the name of the comic.
Yeah.
Volume 1.
I was going to go really crude, but I actually censored myself. Sometimes
Volume-
censorship is good.
Volume
Even
1, the
censorship if you do it to
pussy.
yourself. How you doing, Ray? Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while.
Hey, Ray. Hey, Ray. Good to see you, Ray.
Polyfu. What is that?
Parlez-vous anglais.
It's like those French Canadians have a different word for everything we say.
That's when you go to Quebec, you go, parlez-vous pussy?
And then you get arrested.
I got arrested in Montreal.
And then, then you see
did
fucking
the whole rock
Justin
and roll
Trudeau going,
the hotel room thing.
how dare you? You're like, where the fuck did you come from, Trudeau? I'm like, why are you here?
I tell you, and then the cop showed up and only spoke French. It was like, we're going to jail, guys. You know, I knew they could speak English. I heard them speak in English, but they were like,
yeah.
I've been super busy with my grift. I'm like, well, you got to grift, you know, got to pay those bills.
No, Ray is about, like, big shout outs to Ray. Ray's about to release something that's going to revolutionize the crowdfunding industry altogether, and I'm very proud of him, very excited. Ray's an old friend of mine. I'm very excited for what Ray's got going on. And
I just got to ask, is his kid part of the grift?
yes,
That's
definitely.
Teach me on.
It's called baby.com. Baby got back. No, Ray's
Baby got Baconator.
Baby got Baconator. That's your fucking moniker now. Baby Baconator.
Baby Baconator.
Baby Baconator. What's up, Baby Baconator?
I appreciate that Indy 2 is still keeping up the pretense
Yeah,
that this has anything to do with comic
Just
books.
fighting through the mist of this insane conversation. Just like trying to get something going, right?
If you want to come in the chat, we need to get focused over here. Come in the chat.
Ultimate Spider-Man. Is he gay now?
No, the Ultimate Spider-Man.
Wasn't he
He's
yours?
actually married to Mary Jane, has children, and it's selling like hot. It's Jonathan Hickman.
Is he white again?
Well, that's the scab Spider-Man, Miles Morales.
No, but which one's Ultimate? You said Ultimate Spider-Man.
Anybody, please, somebody come in and save us, please. Anybody.
No, I'm talking comics. I'm asking serious questions.
We're a
I'm
bunch of-
looking it up now because I have no clue.
Who's Spider-Man now in the
What, you can't get it up now? What? I'm sorry, Crom.
I like how I'm the one who's like, okay, he's right. We should talk about the comics. And the moment that I do, he fucking goes this way with it. You are the problem.
I've been up since 3:50. I had to go and turn the power on at the airport this morning. Ah, man, it was so freaking cold.
That sounds like you're the fucking Wizard of Oz. What-
Yeah. Oh,
Bye.
what did we do to Nick?
Nick's just like,
Nick's
I've had enough.
He
of
just
this
heard about
shit.
the power and he just
Yeah.
turned the main breaker
to be
off.
fair, Nick probably has the most sense out of all of us at this point.
You know what? I haven't picked up a Marvel book. I literally couldn't tell you the last time I did it. Maybe 2011.
Yeah,
I've been looking at these. Sorry, John. I've been looking at these omnibuses where I'm like, oh, I could read like these great 90s, but yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I just
you take
I
it off the
can't-
shelf and the weight, just you feel it.
I can't even read like shit from like the 90s now because it's so tainted.
yeah. I just read 2012 X-Force. You know, I enjoyed it. I'm picking up comics from my that are holes in my collection. I'm just messaging Nick. For all he knows, his house blew up or something.
Might have been. He is on the coast, so. Actually, I just realized that I was, because I really liked the guy who ran the comic shop that I was buying from for a long time, and he was putting the newer Fantastic Four in with everything I was getting. So I was getting that, and I literally haven't read any of it. It's in a box. I was like, I guess I'll put it in here.
It's in a box labeled burn pile.
Yeah, when am I going to have a bonfire? This box will go in it, because the newer Fantastic Four was not good.
Really?
Yeah, not really. Like I loved the era of, I guess, like, I mean, Byrne for sure. I've got the extremely heavy omnibus right behind me that I could club someone to death with of his work. But like that whole era of when Reed and Sue are leaving, like they're gonna step away, and Ben's like second mutation and like that whole. All of that, I was super into.
Ben had a second mutation.
Yeah, he became like more thing
on his cock.
And I think it was Miss Marvel. Was it Miss? No, it wasn't Miss Marvel.
How
Yeah.
much
Miss
more?
Marvel?
Wait.
Yeah, she was
Crom,
the original Mr.
Crom.
Sharon Ventura.
Crom, tell me when to stop. When did it become more?
Oh, it'll
thing?
never stop. That's the
Tell
thing
me
about
when to
mutation. How much can you get in? Like, and then whatever it stops at. No, yeah, he
that sounds
became like even
that sounds
crazier
death.
looking.
Yeah, that was around FF 300. That was
Yeah, like that era. Like I was into it, and then I kind of fell off for a long time, and I picked up again in like 2008, I think, and was collecting, and it was just like mediocre. Like it was just half-assed.
Okay, well, I need another drink for this shit.
I,
We start talking about this depressing ass.
No, yeah,
business.
you're talking Fantastic Four and shit. Like, I need a drink. Okay, you can't talk Let's talk Fantastic. Okay, let me grab a drink. Let's talk Fantastic Four movies.
Why,
no,
why are we suicidal?
no.
Yes.
I, you know, cannibalism is one thing. The Fantastic
Yeah,
Four
there's a
movie-
line in the sand.
Yeah.
Like
This is the
eating
classic
people's fine, but fucking. It's funny, man, because you're like, how do you guys get this so fucking wrong? Like, really, how do you get this wrong?
Right.
Unbelievable.
Ray says he's happy to hop on, but he doesn't want to detract. Please,
Yeah, 'cause
please do.
We're really carrying this.
Be a detractor.
When you're at 0, there's nothing to take away.
You can only go. We're just digging down.
What else can we talk about? Hey, you know, guys, I have a comic book on Fund My Comic.
Yo, really? Do you?
I just rewatched Firefly.
You know, I think I watched like 3 episodes and I didn't like it, and then like that was like 3 years ago, and like recently I started thinking, you know, I think I want to watch Firefly. You know, now I kind
Here's
of
an interesting question though. How did you watch it? Did you download it?
I watched it. I was like this.
No, but why I ask is that in the original airing of the show, they didn't want to air the first pilot.
Right. I bought the DVD and I started watching them.
I don't know what order it's in, because I think the way that they did it, like, well, it might have made more sense for like a broadcast network TV situation. I don't think it makes sense in terms of the fucking story. Like, I think it is.
I
kind
think
of
the
confusing.
DVDs. I think the DVDs start with Serenity.
Yeah, which I think
Yeah.
was a good thing.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Start with the movies?
No, the episode is called.
Oh,
Yeah,
the episode Serenity.
it's a double length episode.
Yeah, so they did the original pilot, and it was a double length, and they were like,
the execs
"Meow."
were like the execs felt like nobody would like this or get it or whatever the hell they thought, and so on the quick, I think it was like Tim Minear and Joss Whedon wrote over a weekend the
Drain
episode
Job.
called The Drain Job, and it was sort of like them kind of rewriting a pilot just to get that out there and get the execs happy. And that was the one that aired first.
What'd you
I
kick me right when my best boy fucking comes in? What's up, Ray?
What's up? I'm trying to wear my birthday present, but it's new.
I haven't talked to Ray in a while.
All right, pressure's on. Ray, class up this stream. Go.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
eyes on Ray.
Well, I
Cannibalism.
came back right
my
at the
bananas are
same
hard.
time that Ray came, so we came together.
Cannibals
When
and
two men
ghosts.
come together, things are pretty classy.
Wait.
I'd say
The
pretty
real
sneaky.
question is whether or not Ray is Canadian.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well,
No, I'm fake Australian.
Wait,
Oh, all right.
you're Australian?
No,
What?
I'm from
He's-
South Africa.
He's Pastafarian.
Oh, I thought you came from the land down syndrome.
No, I live in the land of Down syndrome. Yeah. Why do you think I work for myself?
Ray's been friends with me for what now?
I was waiting for an Australian
4
to
years,
pop on
I
my-
think
on the screen
now.
so I can make that joke.
4 years, easy.
Fake Australian.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I'm an import. I'm the one who takes their jobs away.
Ray and I have been friends for about 4 years, which means he's extremely Down syndrome.
Yeah, I'm definitely on the spectrum, fellas.
come to the right place.
Yeah.
What do you think of the birthday present?
Google gobble.
Friends. You're among
Gobble.
friends.
Goople gobble, one of us.
Wait, hold
one
on.
of us.
The RH I got, I assumed from your name. What the hell's the FH?
So my birthday was the other day, and my wife got me matching hats for my baby son and myself. It's fucking cool. So we got Finn and me.
I'm
I'm
really
like, yeah,
glad
right.
I didn't make fun of it.
Yeah, I was about
Well,
I just-
begin.
Go ahead.
That's an invitation to make fun. What are you talking about?
No,
Okay.
I'm not gonna make fun of Finn.
No,
That's
it's
like,
fucking 3 months now. Jesus.
Holy
So he's
fuck.
almost ready to start fighting back. All right.
Yeah.
Another
Trust me,
month.
the little fucker's got an opinion.
he's 3 months old. How much can he drink? Oh, he's not Canadian. They don't drink. Yeah.
Have you seen Ray drink? Are you fucked? That's his genetics. Like this guy's gonna, this baby's gonna drink all of us like in like a month.
Yeah, I can't wait for his 18th birthday. I want to get him so smashed.
I hope you're
Life
alive.
dreams.
Life goals, baby. Life goals.
Now, Crom, you brought up Firefly. Now I'm going to go out on a limb. Did
Brought up Firefly?
anybody ever play the board game Firefly?
The fuck is wrong with you?
No.
The Firefly board game is awesome. It's so much fun that's why I want to watch the show now. Like I play the game and I don't get everybody else like, oh, they pick up the cards, they know who the actors are, they know and I always win because they're trying to assemble the actual crew members and go on the missions.
Yeah,
The
they're
other-
LARPing.
Crom, I apologize. Did you bring up Firefly or did you bring up the movie?
First of all,
I brought up.
he brought it up.
Who brought up Fire? He said, fucking blame John. Don't blame me. I'm just.
This fucking guy. I
It's
like
okay. You
Firefly.
can blame the retard. It's okay.
That's everybody. Yeah, no, he brought up the TV series. We started talking about the TV series, and then John confused the movie and the TV series, and then
Okay.
hijinks ensued. You know,
much,
So
much,
what do you think is the?
like the Rosie O'Donnell movie that we keep bringing up.
I'll watch it again on stream. We did it once. I'll do it again, baby. I'm
you broke my
fucking
computer that day.
crazy. Yeah, that was fun. But what do you consider to be the logical conclusion of Firefly, the movie or the TV series?
well, I mean, I think they made the movie to try and conclude the TV series in some gonzo evil jumping a bus kind of way.
Right.
But
But I mean, mind canon.
headcanon wise, like I don't know if I would put the film as the actual ending of that series, and I say that only because I think they made choices because they thought, well, we're never going to get another chance to do this, so let's fucking shoot our shot, Wayne Gretzky and her. So like the death of Wash, the death of Book, like any of that, I think it was like
Right.
choices they made because they're like, we got to kill somebody, and this is the only chance we get.
We got to weed in this shit.
Well, because they talked a couple of years after the movie came out, they're like, we could reboot the series and like just pretend the movie didn't happen. Like they wanted to bring back Wash. They wanted Book had died. The actor had died at that point, but yeah,
That's the thing that the end of the series is so good.
Mhm.
The way that series ends is so fucking because it pretty much ends with somebody from the government essentially saying, I can touch you. I can touch your crew. I could fucking end you. And we're just allowing you to be out here doing what you're doing. But just know at any time, we can just kill you. And your captain now is sitting there knowing that in his mind, how will that change the crew? How will that change what you're doing? It's a very interesting point to leave off on. And I like that way better than the movie where it's like, let's explain everything and kill people and the Reapers.
To bring the resident punching bag of George Lucas back into this for a moment. Part of why he changed what he changed. There was an interview with him after Star Wars had come out, before Empire was made, and he was lamenting the fact that all anybody was talking about was the space battles. That's it. They were like, oh, it was so amazing, the end, and the blah, blah, blah. And he was like, why doesn't anybody get my sweet hero's journey story narrative elements?
Why doesn't anybody respect my pronouns?
And the biggest problem was, it was like, hey, fucknut, they're not supposed to see that part. That's the like marionette portion, right? The strings are supposed to disappear. That's a bit of what Serenity feels
Star
like.
Wars so much.
I would just like to say, bless Indie 2K for just sticking with the X-Men.
Yeah,
I got to give this guy credit.
Fucking just keeps punching. I like it.
Yeah, he's just this guy is more hopeful than a child on Christmas Eve.
I can't believe it. Really, I'm actually amazed.
I hate Star Wars more than I love Rey, and that's saying a lot. Like,
But I think when you're talking about the movie, Serenity coming in again, I think that's part of it. They were like, we never got the chance to explain River. We never got the chance to make some of these Some of these things we wanted to do.
Well,
over the
it's not
course
just
of
it's
seasons.
not just that didn't get a chance. It's that so many fans wanted that as well, right? So
I
it's
never
like,
needed it though. Did you need it? Like, did you need an explanation of what's going on with River? Crazy bitch, fucking everybody wanted to bang. It's like, no,
I don't
we've all
know.
been
I don't
there.
know that I needed Serenity.
You
Like,
know,
the
like,
movie
Mhm.
Serenity.
Dance up
like
at her at a
whether-
club, being like, "What up, River? You gonna fucking drop kick me in the face?"
I don't like. I like.
That's the banger.
Do I needed answers or closure or whatever? Perhaps. I mean, that just depends on how well the writers were able to do that. Serenity wasn't that, though. I would agree that Serenity wasn't the answer to. Does this give the answers that I need or want or whatever?
Well, let me ask you a question. Is it an answer to Fox fucking over a great TV series by playing it out of order and never being able to capture an audience because nobody knew what the fuck was going on?
Oh, Fox shit the bed. There's no doubt about that. Like Fox and the execs, and as execs want to do, provide their notes or their mandates or whatever. I mean, Train Job was written. We were talking about this when you were away. Train Job was written in a weekend, right? As the new pilot for the show. It was ridiculous, And then Serenity, the idea that in a single film, you're going to answer all of the threads that show had going in 14 episodes. Remember, all the threads that they had opened up that were interesting. You wanted to know. You were in. You're like you were in it for the long haul, and show got canceled. Fox shit the bed, like in more than one way.
Well, the old saying: a guy writes 2 hit TV series that win awards. Interfere.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
That's the old
it's funny,
saying.
It's funny that it happened in the era that it happened because they had 1 million signatures on their petition to keep it going, which probably didn't mean a whole lot then, right? Like in this grand scheme of things. Now,
hey, Eric.
Now, if you could say to somebody like, "Hey, 1 million people, give us the first season's DVD price." We've talked about. Actually, I've talked about this a bunch of times. But like, if you could sell the first season's DVD, basically say like, "Hey, we're going to put that out as a pre-sale, and that'll be the budget for the next season." If you're willing to pay basically for the next season, what would happen? I think they would have seen. It would have blown their fucking brains out. Like that many people were.
Look at
prepared
Brandon
to
Sanderson
put money on
and his novels. I mean, the idea that if Whedon, if like Crom's saying, the show gets canceled, everybody's up in arms. There's so much energy and love at that time for this show. If Kickstarter or whatever these other like crowdfunders were available at that time and were as ubiquitous or at least used. Right, and understood at that time. I mean, like Crom said, he would have been able to finance the entire, several seasons. How many seasons just off fan energy alone?
Now I haven't read the comics. Like, are the comics worth? Like, has anybody read any of the comics?
I have them all pretty much. I had them in.
Are
my
they
box.
Are they worth reading? Like, is it an actual continuation?
I think maybe like the first year was. When they were really on their game, it fell apart really fast, and it just became
why
ridiculous.
Is that?
I think part of the problem when you've got a concept like that, a concept that is unique to some degree, there's a certain level of like novelty, maybe is more accurate to put to that, a blend of a lot of different culture and what have you,
genre.
Can I ask that on a higher level? Why is that in terms of like?
If you're going to ask on a higher level, you got to go like this. Can I ask on a higher level?
Can I ask on a higher level?
Mel Brooks is coming to kill you.
It was good. It was
Can't
good.
swim.
I understand what you're saying, but
Do you understand this?
Was it because that the story didn't have the legs to go that long?
1, 2, 3, 4,
or
5.
was it that the people that were involved in writing those comics didn't have the longevity, or was it like?
I think it's vision, right? They didn't have.
That's what I want to know.
With the vision.
Vision and execution.
Yeah, and I don't think you can get to the
Joss
execution.
Whedon wasn't involved in the
without-
comics.
He
or-
started it.
I think his brother didn't his brother write something or
I think
Oh,
Lanier was in it for a little while too.
My brother's writing Bastards 3, guys. You're gonna love it. It's
Yeah.
gonna be great. It's not
Exactly.
written by me, but it's fantastic.
exactly.
Yeah, but I think Minar and Whedon were in it for the first while, so like the tone was set and things were going all right, and then what happens?
So
The
they
guys
handed
with
it
the
off.
Vision leave and and have
Yeah,
the
I
creative
think
team.
Whedon
And
Whedon
then-
go on to Dollhouse or something.
I can't remember the timeline, but
Yeah, I'm trying to
it was
remember the
something around
timeline
that.
too.
It was around that territory.
That sounds so fucking Epstein. Is that didn't Whedon go off to the dollhouse there?
Totally Epstein.
Yes,
Is
like-
anybody shocked when
They found him with 50 lengths of bed sheets. It was horrific. Worst
Is
case of
anybody shocked
suicide I ever
when-
saw.
Oh, it-
Hey, the Kraken.
Oh, nice.
Us
was anybody
Canadians.
shocked when
know the
all of those
Kraken.
accusations came out about Whedon, or did everybody just assume he was a creep like I did when watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Well, you don't have a name like Joss Whedon without some questions.
It was actually his TED-ish talk about feminism where I was like,
You
Mm.
don't, you
I
don't
don't
have a name
trust
like
this
James
fucking guy
Brock without some
one
questions.
fucking
Yes,
inch.
my cock is huge.
like the second he came out and started talking like being an ally, like just the whole
Yeah,
rhetoric of it, it was like
I love
this
you
is
too, Ray.
real weird. Like,
yeah. It was really off-putting. I mean, like the thing was, like, you know, he's definitely a good writer. There's nothing, you know. But when that feminism stuff came in, it was like, okay, you started to understand a little bit more. Like, I know that at that time, especially when because I didn't watch Buffy when it aired. Like, I watched Firefly first. I didn't know who the fuck Whedon was. I never watched Buffy. I was never interested in Buffy or anything like that. Someone came along and said, a buddy of mine came along. He's a musician. Said, you need to watch this, and he gave me all his DVDs. I never gave his DVDs back. I never did.
They're all covered in semen.
Totally. But when I
didn't
watched
pay.
Firefly, I was like, my buddy was like, you need to check out Buffy, and I'm like, are you fucking serious? That show does not seem like something for me.
Valley Girl,
Like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna watch Buffy. He's like, no, you liked Firefly, you need to watch Buffy.
What do you think
So-
the best episode of Buffy is?
The smile, those three silent monsters that floated by.
I mean, if you watch them all, right? Like, what's the best?
One with the most cleavage.
It's been a long time since I've watched
I get why they gave as much praise as they did to the body.
Body.
Yeah, like that episode is impressive.
That's
Which
a good
one is
episode. That's a good episode. That's
Um,
where Mom dies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
the Foley and everything, like it's all played in this very, very
Mhm.
static manner,
Yeah.
which is pretty good.
Pretty intense.
Yeah.
Did I break you? Like, you
No,
know,
it's just
No,
interesting
no,
'cause-
no. I'm trying to think of all the episodes. Yeah.
The part of the problem too is
Sorry,
that I
I'm a
think-
normie.
Okay, wait. What's your favorite character? Let's back it up to that scope. Who's your favorite character in Buffy?
Giles.
I'm with Xander because I think that he planned that character so well from the very beginning to be what he was.
I love
Like,
that moment. That moment with Xander and what's her face when he's kissing Willow, and she runs out and she falls to the floor and she's like, "I fell," and she's like speared.
Yeah, Charisma Carpenter.
Yeah, that was great. Her titties are all fucking bouncing around. You're like, I don't care what you're impaled on, baby.
Put that on a poll. And
I got a pull for you, baby.
Spike
fa-
Spike was entertaining.
My
Hmm.
favorite. Okay, so through all of the like fucking Angel, Buffy, like all these things, my favorite character is Lorne.
The karaoke bar owner.
Yeah, he's great because he's just like he starts as just like, "Hey, I'm a karaoke owner who's a demon. What's up? Hey, I'll give you some information," and then he gets like roped in to shit that's like way outside of his like realm of dealing with anything, and then he dies because he was too stupid to not be like, "Hey, Angel, booby baby, I'm a karaoke owner." Like, fuck off, you know. So it's like I like those stories where it's like it's tragic because you can see from the time he's very well written, because from the time he's introduced, it's the same as Xander. Like Xander's very tragic because from the time he's introduced, he's very gullible, and these other
Xander is
people.
tragic. He has to look like that his entire life.
I know how tragic, and then he has to live the rest of his life with one eye. What a fucking fool! But like these tragic characters are really interesting, and they may seem like the second fiddle, but they are the first fiddle. They are the driving force behind what makes these shows great.
Well, this is, I think, Whedon's secret weapon, right? This is how he does this,
100%.
right? Like, there's an episode, and I'd say it's one of the ones I do really like in Buffy, called the Zeppo, and it's about Buffy and all the heavy hitters got to fight some fucking demon in the library, and the whole episode is from Xander's perspective as he wanders town trying to be relevant in any way, and he ends up foiling this 2-bit gangster group of fucking zombie, or I guess they're not zombies, but they've been brought back from the dead, jackasses who try to bomb the school in the middle of them trying to stop all of this. I don't know if you remember this, right? At one point, he's down in the basement with the guy, and the bomb is there, and he's keeping the guy from getting out. He's blocking the door. And the guy thinks, this is a bluff. You're not going to blow up, whatever. And Xander just says, I like the quiet, right? He just faces the guy down. And you realize there's far more depth to this kind of dingus sidekick than most people realize. And that plays out. I think that's why the end of the 6th season worked the way that it did, with Xander being the one that stops Willow, because he's the guy that can, right? He is the heart of all of it and has been the whole time. And then it plays into that in the end of the season.
Well,
they should have stopped the season. They should have stopped the series after that season.
I mean, and that's the brilliance behind, the perceived brilliance behind the writing of Joss Whedon, is that what he figured out very early in his writing was secondary characters are the most important characters, which is very true. But what he did was a little bit different than what everybody else was doing at the time, which was make every single one of your secondary characters, make them the everyman. So we always hear about the everyman as the main character and this and that. When all of your secondary characters are the everyman, that's who you're rooting for. And then when you bring them forward as suddenly Xander's taking the center stage or so-and-so, it feels more impactful because you're more invested in that character.
Well, you just a moment ago you had said let's get a little high level here. Well, let's get a little high level. What you're talking about is you're making the main character and the protagonist one entity within that universe.
Correct.
So in the case of Buffy is the main character and she is the protagonist. And what a lot of writers don't necessarily get is that the protagonist is not necessarily the main character. The protagonist
sometimes they're the villain.
The antagonist and the protagonist can be literally just forces of nature in the entire sort of a pantheon of whatever sort of mythology that you're creating.
100%.
What you're talking about is when Joss Whedon, when Whedon figured out this, this formula that you're talking about, he said, all right, the main character is the protagonist. That is to say that the main character is also the sort of elemental mythological force of nature within my universe. Ergo, the only real lateral, the only movement, the only real interest that I can have is in my secondary characters, because we already know essentially that Buffy is going to carry this entire story, this entire mythos, and she's going to be up against these other antagonistic sort of forces within the universe. She is elevated to this idea of this idea of icon, and so all the other characters that support her then are the characters that we can root for. They are as you said, the everyman. They are the characters that we understand and we can empathize and sympathize with. And so this was part of Whedon's sort of, structure. And, you know, to end the sort of high level, you know, rant here is that understanding structure at this level when it comes to story, character, mythos, when you're building this sort of stuff, if you don't have that structural understanding, there's really no way that you can have as fundamentally powerful stories as the Whedonverse has been. And Firefly, even though it never got a chance to get into the mythological sense. I mean, it seemed like it was headed there, but it never really got the chance to you know, Buffy wore it on its sleeve. You know, Buffy is like, there's, you know, the one and everything else. Okay, that's on its sleeve. With Firefly, it seemed like he was being a lot more subtle. He was moving it towards like this pretty grandiose. I mean, River is probably the most obvious sort of protagonistic force, if you will, that could have been. Who knows what he had planned? But getting back on point is that Firefly was setting up a whole lot of different structural elements. Crom, jump in anytime you want to say something. I know.
Well, and to your point too, I think the change that Whedon made going into Firefly as compared to Buffy was that Buffy was the hub. Buffy was the axle through which everything else rotated. He wanted to change that going into Firefly so that any of them could be taken and become the axle of a story. The rest are then around it. So it was interchangeable between all of them. It wasn't that one of them was the immovable object. Any of them could be put into that role, and then a story could form around them. The other characters came in to support it, and their various, you know, I guess
Well, by doing it that way,
being a palette
for more ideas as well. So that you
more
don't
ideas and
feel-
the opportunity to like really make change in all of them, because if you wanted to change them, you just put them in a different position depending on the episode. Like Jane didn't change until Janestown. Janestown is the one moment where there's
Janestown
like an
and
inkling of shift.
Jamestown and Ariel,
Yeah.
right? You know, when he says, you know, make something up.
Yeah,
So,
you're going to kill
nobody
him.
played the board game. So
Nope. Nobody played the board game. It was only you, and that's why it failed.
Is the ship in Firefly then the? Is that the wheel? You know what I mean? Like, is it what was?
I think
that
it could have stepped in and been.
Was that the
in certain
intent?
ways? I think that was more about a kind of framing, right? That part of, I think it was Whedon himself, and you've quoted a bunch of times.
I find it really fascinating what you just said.
Well, Whedon said that this was 8 people looking into 9 people looking into the blackness of space.
9.
And seeing something different, right? And the ship, that's what's so beautiful about the episode Out of Gas, is that the ship represents something different to each one of them.
To each one of them.
And you see it in the episode, what it's giving each one of those people, right? And so
Was that episode intended to do exactly, because what you said was really fascinating, actually, about this idea of the wheel and how that works, and in terms of the structure of these stories and everything. So like listening to you talk about it, I'm sitting there going like, oh, I need to start thinking like Joss.
well, everybody's been trying to do that shit.
Yeah. I know he gets a bad rap because of his dialogue and sort of some of the other sort of stylistic choices he you know, people seem to have a problem with, especially within the Comicsgate sphere. But I would say this, when it comes to, you know, weaving a yarn that has some real meat behind it, and the kind of turns that you only wish you could write as a writer, Joss and the team that he had at that time, which was Tim Minear and what was her name?
Oh, I always forget her fucking name.
Naming McNamerson. How could you guys forget?
Totally,
she has the most naming name of all naming.
Oh, she became a showrunner on what was that Cylon show? What's that show called again? Battlestar
Battlestar Galactica. That's that what Cylon show? What they made?
Yeah. I mean, hey, I've had some Kraken. Okay,
that's
but
fair.
I'm trying to remember.
Espenson, not Epstein.
Espenson, yes, yeah, Jane Espenson.
Oh, no, Jesus.
Jane Epstein.
The
those three writers, Tim
The
Minear,
late and
Whedon,
great.
Tim Minear, Whedon, and Espenson, like they were really the heart of a lot of what was going on within like that sort of like Whedonverse.
And that goes
stuff.
back to that vision point, right?
The
Like
vision and
there were
execution.
those people, those top level people who really knew what the fuck was going on in that world.
Yeah,
And then they could keep it on the track when they were doing the different
that's why the
episodes.
comic
Yeah.
couldn't hold up because they had moved on.
But Crom, do you think that like that was the intent? Was
Of that episode?
No, the ship. Like, 'cause, like you're talking about that. There's the center point in all of Whedon's writing,
Mm-hmm.
and that is the character or thing that is the center point that's going to drive the story through 6 seasons or whatever it may.
Well, I
be.
don't know if you I
Like-
don't know if you heard what Crom said, but what he was saying is that it's 9 people looking into the blackness of space and all seeing something different.
I did hear
The
him
ship
say that,
the
and
ship is the
that-
same. The ship is the answer to that question as well. Each one of them sees the ship as something different to them.
I did hear him say that, but like that doesn't necessarily answer if that is the driving force, because the ship may be the answer, but is the ship actually the driving force behind the narrative?
No, I wouldn't say.
I'm more talking narrative.
Yeah.
And thank you, like thanks for, because it was so beautifully fucking said. I appreciate you saying it again because it say like that is so beautifully said.
Yeah.
But like, is it? I guess my question is like, is that the driving force of the narrative?
I don't think it's the driving force of the narrative. I think it's one of the framing tools that he uses to get that narrative, that those 9 people seeing that different thing. It's one of the framing tools he uses to bring it there, right? And
Well,
it becomes in some ways a 10th character, right?
Oh, okay, yeah. See, I like that. I like
Like
that.
Out of Gas is a great example of like the ship is almost a character in that episode or the final episode or however I think they aired the Bounty Hunter
Yeah, after it was
as the final episode.
Space.
They didn't intend it that way. That when they were doing the production run, they actually meant for the body or not the body. What the hell was it called?
War Stories.
War Stories to be the final episode when the guy that you were in the war with shows up and he gets killed on the ship and they have to take his body home.
Yeah.
I just care.
But they ended up airing it with the Bounty Hunter. Am I a lion? They ended up airing that one last.
Man
But-
alive. There are men alive in here.
But that episode's an interesting one of River even saying, "I'm not on the ship. I am the ship." Like that idea, like they were melding some of that together of like what she wanted and what this thing represents and how it carries them through the space and to that promise that they're hoping for.
Going back to what Crom's saying about the idea of framing, because again, like we've talked about this stuff endlessly, man. The ship might be the answer to the question, and the question and answer together is the frame. So when you're looking to write a story or develop a world, you're asking the question, how am I going to frame them up? How am I going to frame up my viewer, my reader, whatever it is? What frame am I going to put them in? In the case of Buffy, it was a mythological frame right from the start, right? In the case of Firefly, it's a little bit different. And this is why Whedon would say it's nine people looking into the blackness of space and seeing something different. Each one of them has a particular want or a desire, and space is the escape or whatever from that, right? So for Mal, you can't take the sky from me, burn the land and boil the sea. That whole idea of the Alliance basically taking control, taking complete sort of ownership of everything, sort of a totalitarian government rule, as it were, and the idea of escaping. For Mal, the blackness of space was escaping the Alliance, was escaping the long arm of the law, was escaping this idea of this oppression, right? This tyranny, right? When you go through each of these 9 characters, you're going to find, when you ask the question, again, it's about a framing element, right? The idea of a question is asked,
And of course, the universe asks the question and the universe answers the question. Well, in this case, Serenity, the ship, answers the question. How do you survive in space? How do you escape the Alliance? How do you help your sister? How do you, get away from your past as a shepherd? How do you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? You can go through every single one of these characters, put them within the frame of, and see that the ship is the second half of that frame, which is the answer. And the question is, each character has different go for it.
Here's the part that'll really turn your mind to shit. It'll really blow you away.
I doubt it.
Any honest character in the story sees the ship the same way. Any ancillary character in an episode sees it the same way, and any dishonest character does not. So when you've got, forget the name they gave her.
That is true. What you're
the
saying,
redhead,
right?
Saffron. Saffron comes on. She doesn't see the ship as escape. She doesn't see freedom. She just has an opportunity. She's trying to rip people off.
You are accurate in your.
Is that Christina Hendricks?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the last episode I saw. I got to go back and rewatch it.
The thing I love about Serenity and all this shit is that one of the only people that are sitting here with us right now, even though it's free right now to read issue 1, that has read issue 1 of Bastards is this motherfucker right here over here.
I had to read it a few times.
And like the it's exactly what we're talking about, is the ancillary characters, the item. I mean, there's a way to write this stuff, right? Like, there's the ancillary characters, the item, and the goal, right? You can think of it almost like an oyster. Like, am I wrong there, boys?
I don't know, because I think you're only kind of partway through what you're saying. So
yeah, finish your thought.
I don't know that I have one.
Well, you started with like strong, like this.
I did. Okay. So,
Yeah, here's on its way.
Yeah. Well. Okay. So this motherfucker, right? So like everything that you guys have been saying about like Firefly and all this, it makes me feel really good about everything that we've been doing at BCE with Bastards and everything like that, because all these little fucking pieces, I don't want to fucking end up in that situation. That's why I'm really engaged in this conversation and love it, because seeing Firefly fucking go into the wind was one of the most heartbreaking things that ever happened in my fucking youth. Like, I was so invested in it. It was ridiculous. So it did play a part in me writing this comic that we work on now. And, I think you can kind of feel it. Like, there's a ship, there's the ship that sucks, like, because you always need the ship that sucks, right? Like
the Death Star.
The ship that
it sucks.
No, the ship that you fly that is fucking garbage, right? Like, that's part of it, right? And I think going back to Star Wars and everything that we love, right? And I think that's something that John is exhibiting with his campaign. It's like everything that you love, right? That's why his campaign's so successful. Everything that we love is what we want to create at the end of the day, and it's what we're going to make success in, right? So, like, John's campaign is fucking incredible, and I can't wait to get this book because of the fact that he grew up reading fucking capes. And I know you said, John, third book, I don't need to worry about capes no more. That's fine.
No, the Batman character. There's 2 capes in that issue.
Is it actually an anthology? Because it's kind of like written up like it kind of is.
Little do you know, the next episode is Nothing But Capes. That's what it's called.
Oh,
and cannibalism.
I'm gonna buy 5 fucking cannibal. I'm sold. Cannibalism.
Eating capes.
Eating capes.
But originally, my comic book was going to be each issue featured a different superhero, because it's based on my role playing games, and I have 20 years of stories to tell, but I was gonna make it one long story. And then I realized people like the Patriarch, and I think I would be shooting myself in the foot to have all of this hype for a character, and then the second issue he's not even in it.
Beautiful art.
So I didn't want to give up the idea of other characters, so I'm making a flip book. So when you get the comic, it's going to be Heroic Tales featuring the Patriarch, a full story, and if you flip the comic over, next issue is going to have Mary Sue, a full story. So it'll have 2 stories.
Oh,
And then that's going to be the model going forward. So the third issue will be the Patriarch and then the other character, So every issue will have the Patriarch, flip it over, and the other character. And then eventually the team will.
Hail Hojo.
Hey, Hojo's here.
hey.
Again, link is in the chat if anybody wants to join us.
For posterity and for everybody else, this night is not about me. I started going about myself. That's why I stopped.
I'm fighting staying awake. I'm almost on 24 hours.
I had a point, but I lost it somewhere in the mix. And I was like, I'm talking about my book. We're here for John. What
There we
fuck
go.
did I-
Capes and Cannibals, the Joe Biden story. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
Apes and Cannibals.
Canadians even get that joke.
I once licked
We
the
get
man's
nothing but
asshole
your
and it
news,
tasted
just
like
so you
ice
know.
cream.
Well, to be fair, there's no news in Canada. Well,
Oh,
partly because nothing happens.
this is
partly
how
Money.
Picton happens.
because nothing happens, and
This
Justin.
is how Picton happens, Crow. Oh my lordy, lordy. Oh my lord.
I do declare.
I do declare. You better put your. Are we following each other on Twitter? You fuck. Like, because if we're not, we should be.
I don't usually drop this kind of content there because it's too hard to type. But I'm on there.
How
You
many
can find me.
fingers? How many fingers do you have? Can you?
Oh,
not
Joe,
put
there's
them
the
in
link.
private?
You want to join us?
Only 5.
You poor individual.
But
I write romance novels
my
with just
campaign,
these 2.
Oh, John wants to talk about his campaign again.
Oh,
Here we
God.
go.
Comic book. Brr, brr, brr.
Crom, I'm gonna take off. Put your fucking thing in the private so that I can make those 2 fingers 5.
You got another backer, John. 45.
yes, Dave
Nice.
Briggs, 45th backer. Thank you, Dave. Dave also has a.
My wife's like wearing panties back there, being like, "Hello," and she's like scratching at the door like a feral wolf. So I really gotta go. Like she's like I can hear it. Like she's got nails on. It's kind of creepy.
She's gonna eat you. I think the cannibal thing
Cannibal
has come
theme
full circle.
Full circle.
We're
Nice
here.
story.
We've arrived.
It's a good thing I took those fucking pills earlier.
Okay. Well,
Magic blue pills.
go enjoy that cannibalistic wife of yours.
Blue Chew.
Yeah.
So this episode of John's Long Box is brought to you by Blue Chew. Blue Chew.
When you
Screw
absolutely
you until it
positively
screws
have to
you.
fuck your cannibal wife,
Yep.
except no substitute.
I didn't say
Yeah,
much.
when your
but
cannibal
I-
wife is trying to eat you, it will give you the chance to eat her.
Well, thanks for stopping by, James.
I love you, John. And congratulations on the
Thank you.
campaign. I'm very proud of you, brother.
Thank you.
Hey, good to fucking hang with everybody. Ray, good to see you, you cunt. I'll
Thank you. Pop in. We got room for more.
be talking to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh, that's by Soylent Green. That's actually pretty funny. So I was saying, I learned from other people, believe it or not, that your boy Zach, he did the Jawbreakers, and then it took him years to follow it up, and he did other comics that, quite frankly, I didn't really want, and he killed off his. So I was like, I'm gonna have all this goodwill and whatever from the Patriarch, and then not have him in issue 2. I think people would get a little mad about that. So I really wanted, because the other story is already written. I want to tell that story because the next issue is like big on the overall world of that I want to build. But,
We'll just act out that one as a radio play.
there you go. There you go.
Interesting.
So I think a flip book is a good way to go about it. Full story of the Patriarch, full story Mary Sue, and then if I hit a stretch goal, I'll do the unheroic tales of another villain. But
No, I think that's the move, man. Like you know, if you're gonna get us invested in that patriarch
Right.
character, you just got to keep us, you know, invested. And
I think I was making a tactical error. But again, I'm willing to change, and I will listen. You know, to think. And sometimes
have an anchor. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
in the grand scheme of things, it would be better to take 2 years to come out with something that hits and is killer than to come out with something that's out of the fucking blue, out of left field in 8 months. Like, I don't. My problem with your boy Zach, his work was never the time that it took him to do it. It was that it sucked. And I'll tell you to his face. I'm not
That's
trying
one way of putting it.
not trying to be a cock about it, but I was like, this is not good. Like, I don't like this. And that, you know what, that's just me. Maybe the guy didn't like it. But, like, it wasn't timing. It was just like,
I'll be back in 2 seconds. Sorry.
I didn't need to read any more of it, was what it boiled down to. So,
Yeah.
I'll bring you back, Ray, when you come. But I'm glad somebody else said that, and I said in a group chat that I was done with Splato Comics, and then Matt goes, "Well, after Rock and Roll Ninja, right?" And I forgot that he was the artist on Rock and Roll Ninja, and I was like, "Oh, I already backed that one," and I didn't realize I was being insulting, but I got Rock and Roll Ninja, and it's my favorite Splato book by far. Did you guys read it or back it? Or?
no, and unfortunately,
No.
I stopped after Jawbreakers.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, did Zach write that one?
it's Chuck Dixon wrote it. Matt
Oh.
Barrett drew it based on an idea by Zach. I wasn't there. I'm sure Zach had something to do with it, but it's freaking excellent. It's freaking excellent. It's by far the best Splato book. I'm not joking. You guys know how much I love Fiendish. Like, I would put this in a completely different category, of course, but
I enjoyed Fiendish as well. I actually enjoyed that. I mean, it wasn't anything like terribly. It wasn't anything terribly deep or anything. Was that?
I said, imagine a woman made a comic book that was good and had nothing to do with kitchens or laundry.
Nice. Yeah. No. I actually enjoyed it. You know, I'm always looking for something fantasy.
Yeah,
I don't feel like it's underrepresented, especially in comics. And you know, when I was reading it, I thought it was a fairly solid book. You know, and the story was pretty good. The characters were interesting. The world that she's building, like the effort that she's putting in, I feel the effort that she's putting.
Yeah, she's phenomenal. She's making a language. She actually doing like 2 or 3 languages. She's carving dice.
My book is fantasy as well, like the one that I'm working on and behind the scenes, fantasy as well. And I'm looking at her and I'm just like, you know what? She's kind of setting the bar. And if I'm not coming in at least at her level, then forget about it. There's no point in me even producing a book at all. I'm really impressed with what she's doing. I gotta
Can I
say
tell you
that.
the most impressive thing about it? And I'm going to make some more enemies here. I don't think fantasy is underrepresented. I think actual fantasy is underrepresented. And what I mean by that is that if you look at something like Skull Kickers from Zub, that was an attempt at fantasy that was not a fantasy book. It had a bunch of fantasy dressing.
Yeah.
Right? It had dwarves and swords and bad guys and wizards and whatever.
Superficial.
But when you look at what was actually happening and the way that anyone talked, it was essentially a tongue-in-cheek kind of. It was comedy. It was parody.
Yeah, it was a comic book version of a couple of people playing D&D.
Yeah, with a very elaborate set piece of it, you know, out there with its art and what have you.
It's the other one.
And so, genuine fantasy, something that embraces the narrative value,
is trying to contribute
elements, yes,
to the genre.
that is generative in that genre. Yeah, I think that is underrepresented and is what
did
is
you read
worth
Rat
paying
Queen?
attention to. Sorry?
Did you read Rat Queens?
I haven't. I have it, but I haven't read it yet.
It's the same thing. It's you know, modern sensibilities and everything with the fantasy trope. I mean, I liked it for what it was, but I understand what you said. It's not Tolkien.
It reminds me of there's a British group. They're a group of comedians, and they do plays, but the real joke of the play is that it's going wrong.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember their name, but like everything's falling apart. Like things are coming on stage when it shouldn't be coming on stage, and that whole thing. That's like claiming that would be Shakespeare. That's not Shakespeare. That is a parody of the serious theatrical event.
Yeah,
that's what all this stuff is.
Well, Rat Queens and Skull Kickers is to fantasy what Monty Python's The Life of Brian is to like historical
the
drama.
Bible. Yeah.
Oh, it's okay, Ray. It's okay.
Yeah.
Stay with your kids. Yeah.
Good talking to you. Although we didn't let you say anything.
So we got room. I try to I like 4 at the people.
I gotta go soon. I gotta work in the morning, but
I bed, but I'm excited. Adrenaline is starting to wear down now. And there's only so many Baconators you can eat on a live stream,
Yeah, it's 12.
Lies.
It's the actual number is 12.
Hey,
you only have
Bacon's
one, so there's plenty of room for more.
Yeah. 12 Baconators.
Yeah, you'd vomit all over yourself.
Oh, dude. Okay, so in college, there's this guy that would do what he referred to as the circuit.
Told me about this,
dude. So they would
go
go to
around the world, but
no, it was the
makes more
circuit.
sense.
It was the circuit. So 2 guys at college, they would both go to McDonald's, and they would do the circuit. And the circuit was every single sandwich. So in one sitting, they would buy every single sandwich, and they would eat every single McDonald's, whatever it was. It didn't matter if it was Big Mac. It didn't matter if it was like the specialty, like if it was, remember the McRib?
Yeah.
Like whatever specialty thing was that also got included, that got brought into the whole thing.
It's the fish witch that would be.
Yeah, totally.
The grenade.
That's the challenge. I can get through a quarter pounder with cheese, no problem.
They would eat every single sandwich on the menu. So they would go up, order it all, sit down, and they would just right through the circuit.
And they did it?
Oh, yeah. Like,
let me
they were
guess,
crazy.
These all get out, too.
Pardon me?
These guys were skinny also, right?
Oh, yeah, they were. Actually, one guy was skinny. He was like 6'3", and yeah, he was totally skinny.
'Tis a relentless eating machine.
Yeah.
I had a couple of friends growing up. They were like as skinny as you could be, and these guys, we're from a squat, fat Italian family, and my mom would be like, these 2 Irish friends of yours could just eat, like put anybody under the table. Like when they were done with their plates, they were almost like clean enough to put back on the shelf. The sauce off with their fingers, like these. They were ravenous. 50 cheeseburger nights. Yes, what Kevin is fondly remembering is when we play role-playing games, we would all put money in, like $6. Everybody would try to put the same amount in, and then one of the guys would go run out, and it was either Taco Bell or McDonald's, and this was 94.
I have you beat.
We would get as much food as we can, and that was great because I was the GM, so I never went. I got to make notes, so I never ran.
I was always a GM too.
I started dating this girl who was just like, give me this money. And we would all give her, and she would cook. So she started playing with us, and she was a chef. So
nice.
First it was Taco Bell, McDonald's, and then by the end it was like real meals. She would make desserts and everything like that.
You'd keep her.
Pocket the extra money. She was like, yeah, I'm playing and I'm cooking.
Wow. Wow.
Funny.
No, I got you beat though, because my buddy used to his parents owned it was like a combination, like a garage, a like gift store, restaurant, and gas station. And what we would do is we would just go in and raid his restaurant. And so we would just like, he had one of those like walk-in freezers, like walk-in like refrigerators. And so we would just like grab everything we could. It was insane how much stuff we got. Oh my God, it was amazing. Absolutely loved it. And we just take all this stuff back and we just role play all night long, play like eating, like, I don't know how many Wonder Bars I ate. It would make you sick.
Too many
today
is the answer.
Well, today it would
More
make me
than
sick.
one is too many. There's one and then there's too many. The only two categories.
Dude, eating Taco Bell, period, this day at this age, it's over. I can't play the
At
game
this
anymore.
At this age, for sure.
The $30,000 stretch goal is I'm flying Crom out here. We're gonna role play, and he can only eat a tub full of mac and cheese with hot dogs.
You're gonna watch snuff footage, basically. That would be the end of me.
Totally.
Well, I got to roll.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Yeah, 3 hours. Holy mackerel.
Yeah. Congrats again.
Yeah.
You've only just begun.
Yeah. Here is the link. I'm still a
Still
little
buzzing.
Yeah, still a little buzzing. From nervous energy, calming down. So if anybody wants to jump in, Nick, are you staying or are you going?
I can stay for a little while.
Okay, so we could stay. All right. If anybody
guys.
wants to jump in, hit that link and join us. Thank you, Crom.
Thank
Always
you.
a pleasure to talk to you.
Always a pleasure. See you guys later.
See you, Crom.
It gets up to that stretch goal and stops short. Yeah. Yeah. Crom will somehow sabotage it. He will not eat the macaroni and cheese. Do you know that about him? That is his most hated thing?
Well, he says he hates a lot of things. Actually, he has very particular tastes. Yeah.
Hey, Pixel. Hey. Yeah. Hey, Pixel. If you could, is it too late for us to put an ad on to make the $5 coins? He's one of the admins.
Yeah. Well, if he's got it figured out, and if he knows how it's going to work, like by all means,
Yeah,
hop
please.
in there and do it.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Because I didn't really see like an add-ons feature. The only thing that I saw was.
Yeah, I think
another,
you have to make it like a hub, like just another reward.
Yeah,
you
another
can get a reward at any time. Okay, so we have to add it as a reward. Okay.
Yeah, okay. That makes a lot more sense to me because I was looking at it and I'm trying to find where there's add-ons or anything like that at all in that category, and there is no category. So it's just do another reward.
Okay, I see. So okay. All right, cool. That'll fix
Sorry
that.
about that, dude.
Don't worry about it. It's cool. So again, let's I can't even, I'm starting to adrenaline starting to wear off now. But let's just say that Nick has a comic, Crom the Destroyer, that he's doing chapter 2 and chapter 3. That's by the Fourth Age Comics.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's favorite recluse, RJ. And I'd like to point out that he's a recluse not of his own choice. Just he's been banished to an island. And,
Hey, I'm on an island too.
yeah, but you chose it. There's a difference.
That's true. Yeah.
The downside is that somebody technically could just back the coin, but list it as an add-on in the title. Well, if they want to buy the coin, they want to buy the coin. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. That's fine.
They'll figure it out.
Give the people what they want. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funded already. Oh, Cyfreak. Yeah. Congratulations. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Somebody's signing up the Substack too. Cool. Thank you. We had a pretty good. Let's bring up the campaign. Let's.
Take a look at it.
Yeah. Let's bring up the campaign for Cyfreak. Here we go. So let me hit refresh. We're at 45 backers. 1,400. Oh, I thought I hit a button. Yeah. So that's where we're at right now. It went really. The first hour was a roller coaster. It was really fun. It was very exciting. Yeah.
Well, now, dude, you need to commit. This is a point where, like,
Yeah,
okay, so the first day, it's going to be over. You're going to wake up. At this point, it's like it's the slog. So you're just going to have to go on everybody's channel, do what you can to set that up, and get out there and just basically pimp
Right.
as much as you can.
So Tuesday, I'm going to be on Vaughn Coleman's channel, who has Phenomenova. That's already booked. Who else? Mandy Summers is going to have Beyond, and Renee.
Mandy might do real like gangbuster numbers for you. That would be really good.
So those are the ones that I have so far. And anybody else, I have no shame. I will go on your channel. Master Swag, you still here? I'll go on your channel. Let's let's pimp this out. First day is awesome. The next few days are going to be a grind. Sales will slow.
Mandy pulls good numbers.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And the last day, that's your second high, sometimes highest day of your funding. Yeah. So yeah, I just gotta I gotta do the tour circuit now. Now, you'll I'm already scheduled to go on Pete Samedi's. Yes, that's right. Yes. I'm looking at my calendar, but I'm starting to get tired.
Did you say that you've got a deal with Samedi in terms of like publishing through him and stuff?
No, I offered it to Alternative Comics, and he turned me down. He said that it was too much like Superman, and he was basically afraid of a lawsuit. I was like, okay, So
Really?
yeah, so that was the end of that. And then I was talking to him about because I really wanted to get that newsprint. I really love the way Alternative is, and I don't know, maybe ask him about that, but I think you have to publish so much. They're not going to make it's going to be too expensive to do 45 copies. I don't even know how many copies of each Alternative comic he prints to get the deal to make it affordable.
Well, the way it works is that like he's going to take, like, let's say several of his books, and he's going to put them on like massive sheets, because the way WebPress works is that they've got massive sheets, right? And it's on a huge roll that basically like can go for almost ever. And so what he's doing is he's taking his entire run, like his entire line, I should say, and he's publishing all of those pages like on this entire like long roll of newsprint. And so that's what he's doing in terms of him saving money in terms of cost, right? So
yeah,
that's what
I'll be on Pete Samedi's. I was just looking at my calendar.
That's how he's actually like saving money in with his prints. So when he says no to somebody, basically he's just using that space for his own stuff, right? Because when you think about like how that print goes and how that like WebPress goes, he's putting all these pages, lining them all up, comic pages, all on this entire like drum press. That's how it works.
And the 22nd, I'll be on Renee's channel. So I have a lot of open dates. So anybody, I'm gonna sleep late tomorrow, believe that. And then when I wake up, it's gonna be my wife has the full day book. She's off doing whatever she's gonna be doing tomorrow. So I'm gonna be talking to people, borrowing, stealing time from everybody, doing whatever I can.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta get out there.
Answering all these messages from my family members. I don't understand how to back. I don't understand how to buy your comic.
Yeah.
Oh my God, nieces, nephews, and aunts and uncles. They don't know how to buy something on the internet.
So what other channels do you have lined up?
Oh, who am I going to have as guests?
No. I mean, who are you going to be going on their channel?
Oh, right now I have again Vaughn Coleman next. That's going to be Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the Phenomenova. I have the 22nd Renee draws. Renee.
Reenie's going to have you on. That's awesome.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. She was, and Mandy Summers said, "Yeah, I'm so proud of you. I'm going to set up a stream," but we didn't commit to a time. And now we got Zach Tan over here. How you doing?
Yo.
Hello.
I've never seen you before. I've been seeing you popping in my chat all the time, and I've never actually seen your face before. So, goodbye. I saw your face. That's all I wanted. See you.
Yeah, fair enough.
How you doing? Good to see you.
Yeah, I don't actually make YouTube videos, but I watch streams and I watch you guys a lot. So
yeah, all the time. I see you all the time.
But I wanted to wish you a blessed day and congratulations in person as much.
Oh,
That was good.
Thank you.
Yep,
that's awesome.
I'm gonna go to sleep pretty soon, but
you're leaving already?
Yeah, but
okay. He just want to say thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
You're in all the streams. You're always there. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Contact Drink with Crazy.
Always a fun time.
Cool.
Thank you. The Friday nights, they want to have me on, but they wanted to wait till my campaign was active.
Friday nights. I don't
Yeah,
know
every
if I know
Friday. There's 3 guys, there's 3 regulars, and then they have a 4th person,
them.
like
Okay.
a rotating guest. It's
Yeah.
popular. I asked Ethan Van Sciver, and he said sure.
He said sure. Yeah, I remember that.
Sure,
So,
so-
you need to hit him up on that. You need
I gotta hit
you
him
need
up,
to
you know.
yeah. Pursue that, man.
And Shane Davis,
Don't let that go.
I forget, was it you? I forget who it was. Maybe it was Marcus Kellegrew. Shane Davis was talking with I forget the woman's name, not Mandy, another woman, and they were just talking about like, is there any positive shows that actually talk about comic books and like comic? And he was like, yeah, John's Long Box. So they said
That's a good thing to be known about.
right. So I was like, oh wow. So I thanked him. So ask him. He's been on my channel. Maybe go see if I can go. I'm saying go on his like I could just invite myself on, but you know what I mean.
You know
Oh,
what?
We got
It
another.
doesn't
guy.
hurt to ask. Just
Yeah, that's been my philosophy is ask everybody. Ask.
and I've
everybody.
learned that from you, actually.
Seriously? You're not goofing?
I'm not goofing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You seem to have like a sort of fearlessness when it comes to like just basically putting yourself out there and being basically who you are. I like it.
The funny thing is, I was the classic nerdy guy. I was when I was up to 24. Believe it or not, up to my age 24, I was like shy. I couldn't talk to girls. I was like Mr. Outgoing. But then when I decided I like this girl, I couldn't talk to her. So I always just, pretended, being a clown or whatever. And then when I moved out to Albuquerque, I was just like, you know what? Nobody knows me here. I'm just gonna, and if it doesn't work, I'll move back to New. So I was just like, I'm gonna talk to girls. And then this one girl, the hottest girl in the school, Jessie, I just like, you want to go to my dorm room and make out? Like it was just like as blatant as she was like, sure. And ever since then, I said, you know what? Just ask. Just ask. You know what I mean? Like, what's the worst that can happen? No. You know how many times I've heard no from people? So I just ask everybody. I can't believe I asked Pat Broderick to draw a cover. He said yes. Michael T. Had to pay them, of course. So just ask people. What are they going to say? No.
Yeah.
I asked Jim Shooter. I was terrified to ask Jim Shooter. Something about
Jim Shooter was really like when you had Jim Shooter on. I got to tell you, dude, that was pretty epic.
And yes, DC. I asked Jim Shooter to make out, and yes, let's just say it worked out. You haven't lived until you got on your tiptoes to make out with Jim Shooter.
Awesome.
Yeah, Jim, that was great.
It was great. It was great. And what I really love is just that, full disclosure, in terms of lore and such, in terms of like the comic lore, comic industry, I'm not that well versed. My head has really been in craft, and so most of the time I really am paying attention to like higher level sort of craft stuff. That stuff that we're talking about with Firefly, with like Chrome and so on. But when you sat down and you talked with Shooter, the fact that you had like at the ready all of this knowledge, all of this like history that you could just pull from and talk to him about and ask him questions, I was riveted. Like there wasn't very many interviews that I've done the same thing that everybody else has done. Tell me that everybody else in your chat hasn't done this already, where they do a search for Shooter and they're wanting to know more about this man who did incredible things during his era.
Yeah.
I did obviously the same thing. And the fact that you were able to come in and ask these questions, not pointed, not aggressive, but as a fan, as someone who loves this stuff. And Shooter, he sensed it, and he was able to just integrate with you and communicate with you. And it was just this fantastic interview. I absolutely loved it. It was a coup d'etat as far as I was concerned.
I could have talked to him for hours longer, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad that he had to go, because I was like, leave on a high point.
Yeah.
And he said he's willing to come back.
I know he said that, dude. You need to take him up on that. I would say this though. I would say not that your first interview was anything at all other than perfect. I thought it was fantastic. But if you were to have him on, I would be like, okay, this time I'm going to have him on a second time. What am I going to talk to him about?
Yeah.
And I would be prepared.
Well, we didn't get to like the Valiant years. Like we just covered Marvel. So the second time we come on, I think it would be chronological talk to life past Marvel.
Did you read much of his Defiance stuff?
No, I didn't. I didn't.
I don't know much about it either.
Yeah, I know. I'd have to do research because that would be embarrassing.
That would be the third interview. Is if we were to follow.
You know what was one of my favorite? Did you watch my talk with J.M. DeMatteis?
I think I might have.
Because I'm a big fan of his, and I practically had to beg him to come on, and you could see he started talking. Then I would say something, and he would just interrupt me and keep and then he warmed up, and then we would just.
You have that skill.
We were just talking and to the point when we shut down afterwards. He goes, that was a lot of fun. He goes, I don't like doing these, and you never know what you're going to get. He goes, I've been on some real bad stinkers of these, and he goes, this was a lot of fun. He goes, can I come back?
You have that skill.
I was like, J.M. DeMatteis just asked if he could come back on my channel.
Dude, you have that skill. Seriously, you do. You're able to put people at ease, and the fact that you are such a fan, that you're so knowledgeable. When people start to detect that you are the real deal, it's over. They really open up.
I only, well, for the most part, like, this is going to sound mean, but like the unknown people, I just like talking to them and seeing their enthusiasm and like get some promotion. That's a lot of fun. But like the established people, like the gym shooters, and like the Fabian Nisia, I just want to talk to these people that wrote comic books that I love, so that's why
people want to hear those conversations. Yeah, absolutely.
When Eric July was on, and a couple of people were super chatting, goofing on him, and I didn't realize that they were goofing on him. And I'm reading these super chats, and so I was so lividly.
You can say about Eric July, he was classy.
He was absolutely.
He did not flinch.
Yeah, and
I gotta say, that was good.
Yeah, I was so mad. Like, how dare you use me, my work? I've been doing this for 3 years, and these people just jumped in out of nowhere.
He understands the game, though, man.
What's that?
He understands the game.
Oh, Eric.
Yeah,
he was. That's why I won't say anything.
He's a pro.
I won't say anything. I know EVS is on my channel, and he was fun to talk to. He was charming. I had a great time, and afterwards we talked. And
these guys are pros. They get it.
I'm not picking sides, and I'm not fighting. Why? Because
you don't need to.
Right. Because these guys are. It's just been one of my. Brian Bow just said, "Holy crap! Are you still live streaming?" Yes. Yes. Come on. But I won't say anything bad about anybody who's been on my channel because it's
except me.
Well, yeah. But let's be realistic. It's not like I haven't said it to your face.
Yeah. No.
My roof.
My DMs are just littered with insults and
just every once in a while it's just you suck.
You don't see it. I'm crying on the other end, but
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Usually every time he looks in the mirror he cries.
Oh. That's what I mean.
But I don't know. So I don't want to get involved in the drama, and I don't want to. First off, it's just stupid to talk bad about people that've been on my channel, because then other people will be like, "This guy's going to talk bad about me after 3 weeks." Yeah. So I won't do. The only person was Fabian Nicieta, and I think everybody understands why. If you've been watching my channel for a while, the guy pretty much insulted. Yeah, John helped me acquire an entire Micronauts run. Oh, did I? Man, I'm so helpful. That is such a great run. That original Michael Golden, Bill Mantlo. Oh, Brian Bow just woke up, saw that he had a notification. He goes, "I'm in bed." Wow, I actually stayed up later than this werewolf who stays up until sunrise. Mighty Kev is awesome. Cypher. Oh man. So
how are you feeling? How are you feeling about your campaign?
Good. Now that the nerves are going down. Yes.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Oh, I reached out to a bunch of people.
Another backer.
Oh, I got another backer.
46.
Oh, yes, that was
I just saw that now.
oh wow, I get them instantly. Yeah. Oh, okay. I don't want to say people's names, but I get a little notification of the. Okay, here's
Right.
somebody asking a sensible question. Finally, yes, somebody with a sensible question. Why can't I? Oh, there we go.
Let's hear it.
So here we go. Here is the campaign. I'll put that right over here for the time being. I reached out to Walt Simonson, and he was like, "Sure, I'm in the process of moving right now. Give me a month." So I
Yeah.
put it in my calendar. So I got 2 more
You
weeks.
told me that.
Yeah, before I get it. How great would that be to talk to Walt?
That would be insane.
Yeah. Tom DeFalco said, give me a couple of days. Marv Wolfman said, message me again in a month, and then ghosted me.
You know, but you know what? And you know this already. I don't have to tell you anything you don't already know, but I'll say it for the chat. You know that you need to just keep pressure on them.
Yeah.
Just keep asking them, because the fact that you got Jim Shooter, they're going to see that. They're going to see like all the people that you've been interviewing, and the fact that Jim Shooter's there. They're going to basically be like,
Well, that's what
"All
I
right."
do now is I'll get their contact information and I'll be like, okay, Tom DeFalco. All right. So I put like Michael T. Gilbert. You're like, who do I imagine Tom DeFalco would be fans of? Okay.
Right.
Once JMD Mateus came on, I was like, Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Connor came on. So I put those links. Send
That's
them
the
out
move.
emails, and like, here's some, you understand, I'm not a gotcha guy. I'm not a drama guy,
No,
and
comics guy. That's it.
who was it that said Tom DeFalco said, I really liked your talk with the JMD Mateus. You messaged me in a couple of weeks. Sounds like cool.
That's great, man.
But Mark Millar said, "Oh, I'd love to come on your channel, John." And I was like, "All right."
Really?
And then he hasn't responded to me in months. So
Dog him. Just keep going after him.
He turned off his comments. I went, I've been trying. The only way to contact him is that I know about it is through Twitter, and he turned off his comments. So anytime I see he accidentally left the comments on, I say something,
Do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta.
Yeah, I would. And again, like you said, it's out of love to want to talk to these people. It's not,
Well, that's what they sense with you, right? Like that. I think that's your superpower. Really, it's just that you're such a fan. You're knowledgeable. You care about this medium, and they sense it. That's it.
I'm trying to think. There was somebody that was really trepidatious at the beginning, and towards the end, we were like real chummy.
Well, I got to say this, and if he's watching or listening or whatever, that's cool. John Delarose, he has a certain way about him. Let's just put it that way. What I found really fascinating when you had him on was at first he was a little bit standoffish. He didn't know what to expect from you. You won him over.
Yeah.
And the moment, like when that happened,
we started talking about through a fight.
Yeah.
In a moment of weakness, I actually
right.
started a fight with him, and I immediately regretted it. And then, I said, I just backed down because there was no point. There was no point in fighting. It was just a stupid thing. And then he graciously came on my channel, and now he said he wants to invite me on his channel. The problem is he
wow.
at 3, and I don't get home until like 4:30.
Right,
so and he's got a big family, and he doesn't live stream it during the weekend. So we're trying to work that out.
I think I told you, like, by the end of your stream with him, I was like, this John Delarose guy isn't as bad. I think he's actually pretty cool. Like, it was just this weird sort of thing that you were able to kind of bring him out in such a way that I hadn't seen a side of him that I hadn't seen before. And it took, a good portion of your interview, but you got him. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. Maybe this guy's pretty cool. I don't know. Like, I still don't know, but I'm like,
I'm a lot more
but you're
open
willing to look now.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, for sure. It was great. It was a great.
I don't know if you know who he is, but Tom Vassell, he runs a YouTube channel called the Dice Tower. It's the #1 board
You've
game.
mentioned it before, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of his. I met him a few times. Like, as much as I'm into comics, I'm into board games.
Mhm.
So I was like, and he's also into comics. So I was like, I would love to get Tom Vassell. You know, that would be great. So I just pestered him, and he was like, I think he was just being nice. He's like, I can't message me again. And I did. And then finally he was given like weird demand. I can only do it at 7:00 in the morning. Is that okay? I was like, and it just so happened I was off for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, how about this Thursday
Jump on
at
it.
7:00? And I think I backed him into a corner where he was like,
I guess I got to do it.
I guess. So if you watch that interview, somebody even said he looked pissed off at the beginning, and he was very, but by the end we were like, yeah, you know, like laughing and joking, and you know, and he even said that was very fun, you know.
That's your superpower.
Yeah,
I
so-
gotta tell you.
I was like, so man, I'm like, I like Tom so much. Please don't be mad at me. You know what I mean? But
No, man. Like by the end of it, I think people really get the sense that you're the real deal. Like you're genuine. You care about this stuff. It's really on your mind all the time. And you know, your questions, even if they're not prepared, it doesn't matter that they're not prepared because you've been preparing your entire life in the sense that you're such a fan.
that's why I started calling them conversations instead of interviews. And people are like, oh, you interviewed Jim Shooter. I'm not going to correct them. You know what I mean? But to me, it's in interviews, I have 20 questions written down, and you know,
Right.
conversation is just like what we're doing right now. It you know, it meanders. Sometimes you don't get back to that point. It's just, you know, whatever. So like I'm like right now that we're talking, I'm looking at your face.
Mhm.
You know, that's why I don't like it when people have avatars, but some people have avatars. Like RJ gets an exception because he's one of the first, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't like. I want to see your face. I want to see your act. Am I bombing? Like, are you happy? Like, did you not like what I said? So I stare at people.
I never like what you say.
Right. And I don't like your face. I wish you had an avatar. So I was watching Tom Vassell's face lighten up through that hour-long talk.
Yeah. The change, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And especially if you're curious, go watch that Dave Mateus. You see this guy like melt and become, and Mark Allred, Mike Allred rather, he said that he's shy. He doesn't like doing this, but he understands that you got to do it.
You got to.
And but when we turned the camera off, we were like, yeah, I'll come back on. You know, I'm doing this in a couple of months. I got, you know, I'll back on. We'll talk. Blah blah blah. You know, that was a lot of fun because he's another guy I really like. Pixel Trader, I really enjoyed our stream with you. I seriously appreciated talking while healing. Even, yeah. I think I talked to you right after I had my hernia surgery. Yeah,
I think I saw that episode actually.
Yeah, I was messed up, and I was like, I scheduled people. I'm not gonna blow it off, but I really didn't want to sit in this chair and talk to people. And I didn't want to lay down, and I didn't want to walk. So
what kind of drugs did they have you on in terms of painkillers?
I didn't take any. I didn't take any. They
What?
drugged me during the surgery. I had no choice.
Of course. Oh yeah, but
And then I woke up like
they must have given you painkillers of some kind.
They
though.
offered them to me, but I'm afraid. You know, like I don't drink. I don't.
You know,
gamble.
I have a friend as well. Like he's a robotics engineer. He refuses to take painkillers because he feels like he's just going to get like, I don't know. He doesn't say addicted, but he feels like he's just going to like his pain tolerance is going to change, and he doesn't want to have that happen.
Well, I you know, thankfully I don't have any drug addicts in the family, you know, or alcoholics. But why? I feel like everything starts somewhere, and
fair enough.
You know what I mean? Like I got the story I always tell is I got a root canal, and I scheduled it on a Saturday because in my job you don't go to work, you don't get paid. There's no sick days.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, I don't want to miss a day of work, so I scheduled it on a Saturday. I got the root canal, and the doctor's like, here's codeine, you know, a Percocet. I forget which one. And I was just like, oh, thank you. And I took the prescription, and I literally just crumpled it up and threw it in the garbage as I walked out the door. It wasn't that bad. So my wife's like, "Oh my God,
Wow.
how is it?" Like, "Yeah, it's not that bad. It's just a root canal, or whatever." So I'm telling that story to my partner at work. So now it's Monday, and I'm like, "Yeah, Brian, the doctor gave me a Percocet." And before I even finished the second syllable of the word Percocet, this carpenter jumped off the ladder. He's like, $10. I'll give you $10 for a pill. I'll give you. And I was like,
I've heard about this.
and he goes, if you could go get that prescription, I'll, And I was like, Brian, this is why I don't want to do any of these painkillers. Guys jumping off a ladder like drugs.
Yeah.
Drugs. So it's not. So I mean, I'm not saying I won't take painkillers, but I didn't feel it was necessary yet.
Yeah, right.
So it's funny because when we came home, all I wanted to do was come downstairs. I got 2 reclining chairs over there and a TV. So I was like, I just want to come down, get in a reclining chair and watch TV. I don't even want to read comics because I couldn't concentrate,
Right, yeah,
the anesthesia messes you up. You can't. So my wife was all scared. She was walking behind me because she thought I was going to have trouble. I just down the stairs. I was like, it's not that bad when you're walking, but once you sit down, I'll forget about it. Once I laid down, I was fine, but
yeah,
I don't know about you, but when I lay down,
when
a half hour,
I had my wisdom teeth taken out, and I was supposed to get like a bunch of drugs to go with that and whatever, and I don't know why, but I didn't have the kind of swelling that my wife had when she had her wisdom teeth taken out. Oh my gosh, her face was like,
oh really?
Yeah, it was brutal. I had almost zero swelling, almost like, and they give you these like I don't even know, like cotton balls or whatever.
Yeah, I hate that's the worst.
Terrible.
Oh my! I could deal with drills in my mouth, but those cotton balls in my mouth, just thinking about it, freaking me out.
I pulled them out way too early. Well, when I say way too early in terms of what they had prescribed, I just pulled them out because it was just annoying. But I didn't get any dry socket. I didn't get any swelling. I simply don't bruise and I don't swell. I don't know what that is. It doesn't happen for me. But yeah, like I try to avoid that stuff as much as possible in terms of like drugs or anything like that. But sometimes I don't know, you're in pain.
Yeah, I one time, I believe it or not, I threw my back out. This is a stupid story. I was in Albuquerque, and one of my buddies got an apartment, and we found furniture. People were throwing out furniture, and he was like, "Oh, wow!" So I was like, "Oh," I picked
Your
it up,
stuff,
threw it on the car, and as I lifted up, I just felt like a little. It wasn't that big.
Yeah.
And then I went to my girlfriend's apartment, and I was getting out of the chair, and I was like, "I'm stuck."
Same thing.
I'm stuck. It was the first time I ever threw my back out. Oh my God, did it hurt? I had to lay on the floor, and my girlfriend.
Oh, dude, I know.
She thought it was cute. She was like, "I'm gonna play nurse," but after like 2 days, she's like, "We got to do something about this."
Yeah.
They brought me to a chiropractor, and I was like, "These guys are quacks." I was like fighting her the whole way. She was tiny, and she's helping me out of the car. We go to the chiropractor, and I'm like snarling at this guy. I'm like, "You can't." This guy cracked she said she heard it in the waiting room. It was so loud. And oh my God. And then the guy just like, "Here's some Percocet." I was just like, "Yeah, whatever you want. You're a magician." I was like, "Thank you." and I took Percocet like M&Ms just because it was college. And I'm like, and I just remember as we were driving home, we had to pull over and I was puking, so now I went from my bad back was fine, but now I'm on pink. Ever since then, I said, I'm no painkillers, because to me, it's like, if at that time you get a pizza, I eat all the pizza until there's no pizza left. Everything is to excess. If I drink beer, I'm drinking beer until I felt I was a college student. So you gave me codeine or Percocet. I don't even remember what it was. It's so I'm like, you know what? I learned my lesson. I went from a guy who couldn't move to a guy who couldn't move for other reasons. So I don't do it anymore.
Is your back still bugging you?
Once in a while, I throw out the back.
You know what? So there was a real short spell there when my wife and we broke up for like maybe about 5 or 6 months there, and I ended up getting a job. It was like at it was a Safeway, which is like
a grocery store out here in Canada, and I was in the warehouse, and you had to do like sort of timing, like in terms of like the orders that you were picking and stuff. So you're basically like you hop on this like electrical like donkey kind of thing, and you're driving around, and you're just basically filling this order up as fast as you fucking can. It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
And you got to get back to and deliver your order, wrap it up in like saran wrap or whatever, and get it on the truck as fast as you can. That's the warehouse life. And at one point, like I'm like climbing underneath these like crazy setups that they've got for how they've been storing all this like food and whatever. I'm pulling this stuff out and whatever, and I'm grabbing tons of really heavy shit. I'm throwing it on top of my like electronic donkey or whatever, and I throw my back out, and it was fucking brutal. At first, I didn't realize that I had done it.
Yeah.
When I got home, that's when shit went sideways.
Yeah, that's the way it is.
And so I took time off. I had to like, there's some sort of, I can't remember what it was. It was some sort of workman's compensation or something like that I was getting paid, even though I couldn't even show up for work. I was so fucked over. To this day, I quit the job probably like 2 months later. I started just like, I said, you know what, forget this. I'm just going to be focusing on like design and art and all that other stuff. And to this day, every now and then when I'm doing something, my back can get thrown out.
Yeah.
So easily.
It's
just sitting in the car, for fuck's sakes, man.
Yeah. Once it happens once,
yeah,
stuck with it. And every construction worker, we it's like, oh, it's that time of the year, my back went out. We don't even question it. It's like, yeah. So now, like every once in a while, when I feel I'm on the verge, I'll go to the chiropractor. And I know the chiropractor doesn't solve the problem, but it's like managing the problem,
For sure.
What Cyfreak says over here, I'm not taking any pills if I don't have to. It's wondrous people came up with all this medicine, but doctors of today would stuff us with chemicals. I went to I have to get a checkup yearly for because we do our own insurance in my trade. So part of the deal is you have to get a checkup, otherwise your co-payments go
like
up.
A full physical, you mean?
Yeah, full. So I get a full physical. So about 2 years ago, I told the doctor, I'm waking up to pee like all the time in the middle of the night, so she prescribes me a pill, and the pill just turns it off. So like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I got to take pills the rest of my life. Like I'm already taking like a vitamin in the morning and stuff like that. Like I take it. So I was complaining at work, and one of the guy goes, "Oh, what time do you go to bed?" I'm like 9. He goes, and you're drinking coffee till like 8:30, right? I'm like, yeah. He goes, don't drink coffee after 6. I was like, oh, okay. And next thing you know, I'm not waking up to pee. So I when I went back to that doctor for the fall, because they drew blood, so you got to go back for the blood thing. I'm like, why didn't you just tell me not to drink coffee? She goes, oh.
Well, they're not really trained in terms of nutrition and asking those sort of questions, right? Like their training really is pharmaceutical.
Right. I was like right then and there, like this was pre-COVID, everything. Right then and there, I was just like, doctors are stupid, like they train in this way. They really should be like more critical, and like, oh, I wake up to pee. Well, don't drink after 5. Like now I'm mad that I took a buddy at work to tell me this.
Well, in their defense, in the doctor's defense, I mean, like part of the problem is that they don't have a whole lot. I mean, I don't know how it is actually. I shouldn't comment. I don't know how it is in the States, but in Canada, because it's socialist, you don't have a whole lot of time with the doctor. Like you're in and out like it's nothing. Like you talk to the doctor for 5 minutes, if that, and then they're already prescribing, they're already doing their thing, and they're not really like giving you the battery of
and the answer is always, would you like to die? Would you like to die?
Yeah. Really.
Yeah. I was saying that to her. Oh, in Canada, the medication's free. In Canada, the option is death. In America, at least you go bankrupt, but you're still alive. You don't get your money back sooner or later.
Yeah.
In Canada, the doctor messed up and paralyzed this woman. And then like, oh, so they offered her that, what do they call it? MAID, doctor assisted suicide.
Right, right.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, that makes it all better.
That's great. Yeah, everything's perfect now.
Yeah. Thank you, Kirby. Kirby, it's good to see you. Well, you know what? We've been talking for almost 4 hours. I've been up for 23 hours now. It's time for me to go to bed. I'm like trying to push buttons and I'm hitting the wrong buttons now. Yes, I could feel the adrenaline crash is wearing off. So I can't believe there's 46 people still watching this. I thought we would have chased half of you away with the cannibalism stuff about an hour and a half ago. But thank you, everybody. Thank you. Oh, we just lost somebody. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to sleep in, and then I'm going to get on the old internet and see who will have me. If not, be live and invite
Yeah,
people.
get out there, man.
Yeah, I got to get out there. I have faith in this comic. You know, I'll share it one more time before we go. I really do think it's a good comic. It really is a love letter to everything I like about comic books. It's affordable. You know, look at this artwork. What can you say? This is
Well, I've seen the pages. The artwork is incredible.
Yeah, that's right. Nick has been like the manager, I would say. You know, and I'm still adding to it. You know, people think I'm crazy. Yeah, a little bit of cannibalism never hurt anybody. I'm with you. You know, so I don't know. I really would like to raise enough money that I could do issue 2 because this was quite expensive to produce. You know, so it's a lot of fun. So if there's an issue 2, it's up to you guys. He's stealing that.
There'll be an issue too.
It'll be he's not stealing. That's his baby. He came down because he's happy after a day of super heroics, or as James said, cape shit. But I mean, look at this. It's glorious. I can't wait to. And Kevin, you'll probably recognize a couple of the stories. You can't wait to see what's inside. Yes, thank you. But
Renzo killed it.
Bigger and heavier. So I got to go to bed. As much as I'd love to stay awake and keep talking about my comic book. Thanks everybody. Thank you everybody for your support. Thank you, Nick, for guys don't even know how much Nick helped. Nick did the logos. He designed the campaign page.
It's all good.
He did the cover dress, and he answers the phone when I call him sobbing at 3:00 in the morning. You know. So there's just so much. Yes, Renzo does great buildings. Yeah, Renzo is a technical artist who said he just wants to draw comic books, but you know, life gets in the way. You got bills to pay. So he did a brave thing and he took a risk and started drawing comics. And I think he quit his day job and he just does comics. Awesome. I got to admire that, you know. Yeah. It's his now. So thanks a lot, everybody. I'm repeating myself because I'm tired, but I'm just very grateful for everybody, for all their enthusiasm, for all the
it's great
all the help everybody has. I feel you on the bills to pay thing. I can't quit. Yeah, I can't quit my job. Even if I could, I'm 3 years away from retirement and a pension. I can't throw it away. And I'm babbling. But anything you want to say, Nick?
No, man. Just that your enthusiasm is infectious. Everybody loves it, and I think that your campaign is going to do gangbusters.
So do I. You know, and we still got more surprises to unleash. You know, I'm gonna.
Yep.
I have unique stuff available on the next platform, and I even have more unique stuff on the third platform. And we're already planning on fun stuff for issue 2. So yeah. This is awesome. It's gonna great, and it's gonna build. Every issue is a standalone issue, but
that's the way it should be.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to ask people to wait 8 months.
No, not at all.
Or I'm looking at it like this: you want a story, I'll give you a story, but I don't think I could ask you to pay $100 for a story. You know what I mean? Like, you know, when you add up the price of all of these comics, it's hundreds of dollars or tens of. $60 for a complete story. I don't, it's not cost effective. $10, you're gonna get a fun story, and then if you get 2 issues, that's why he did that here. That's why he did that there. I didn't even. Nick and Brian Bow probably know more about the comics and this stuff. I didn't even tell them because I'm trying to keep it a secret. there's going to be a through line. And now I'm going to start talking and tell you everything because that's my weakness. And yes, I said this on Bancroft, and Cyfreak, thanks. This will be the last thing I say, but I sent Nick pictures of the actual coins. He did a cool mock-up because the people that making the coins, for some reason, they're really dragging their feet and they pissed me off. Last time they did it so quick. This time it's taken months. But they sent me the actual pictures of the coins now. They're going to mail them soon. And I was like, can you put up the actual pictures? So he did it. And then the campaign had to get reapproved. But I didn't know that. I panicked thinking my page went down. So I called up Luke Stone on the phone, and he's having dinner with his family, and he's just like, okay, John, I'll fix it. As he's talking to me, the page goes back up. It's approved. He goes, there you go. And then he's just chit-chatting with me, and I'm like,
that's great.
And I said to him, you can't do this on Indiegogo. You can't do this. I'm doing this like an old phone.
No. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who's the guy that you talk to? If your campaign goes down on Indiegogo, what do? Who do you talk to?
You're lucky if you're talking to a bot.
Right. There's no person.
Yeah.
You can't. I think there's people at Kickstarter, but they don't like us.
Mm-hmm.
And then even if it doesn't fall apart on Indigo, you're shadow banned.
Yeah.
So I talk to the guy, the honcho. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm loyal to Fund My Comic, and I think it's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
And at that, I'll say goodnight. I bid you adieu. Thanks a lot, Nick. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
And yapping.
See you, everybody.
Oh, Tonic Bowl's sending me messages now. He's a night guy. I'm all right. My computer even said too much usage. So good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.